What's up, guys? We're here for episode 32 of Kart Talk, joined by some of my good friends from around the Mario Kart community. As we get around and get some introductions, we'll first start off with the fact that we have Frenzy fans back with us for the first time in like 2 months. How are you guys doing? It looks like maybe a new background. Welcome back, and tell us a little bit about where you are and what's new with you guys.
Yeah, so we've been in the process of moving. We sold our house in Georgia 3 months ago, and we didn't have a house for 3 months. And as of yesterday, we officially have a house. I don't know if you can hear, there's like a lot of echo. It's because the walls are bare. There's no carpet.
What'd you say?
We just built. We have 2 seats that we just spent like an hour and a half making, putting together, whatever you want to call it.
So we didn't have to sit on the ground.
And
is that a real couch or are they cardboard boxes?
Yeah, so Frenzy fans, welcome. We'll get into the icebreaker here in a second. I think we'll deviate a little bit. We'll just do a quick intro. So we also have Hero with us. This is actually his first time joining us as a super stud. He's joined us a few other times as either winning a prize or joining us on different other occasions. So welcome, super stud Hero. What's new with you? How's the hiatus going?
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me, everyone. It's good to be here. Feels like forever since the last time I was here. So what did I miss, Studfit? Anything new? Anything?
The game is basically nothing's happened.
I figured that would happen. Awesome.
You can still pull on pipes and
Awesome.
a lot's happened, man.
Good, I didn't miss. But yeah, no, it's good to be here, and I know there's a lot of things to talk about, and yeah, I mean, still on hiatus mode, don't get me wrong. I have a little mini vacation off of school before I go back. So yeah, I'm going to use that time to just relax and get a lot of sleep. So that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, sleep as a college student won't get you very far. We also have Bobcat. This is actually his I think 7th hour as a super stud. We were streaming this morning and he's like, hey, so you guys can I be on this Kart Talk thing? I'm like, yeah, sure. Here you go. And lo and behold, here he is with us. So on the very short notice, thank you for joining us, Bobcat. Tell us a little bit about your background in the game and also as a content creator for Mario Kart Tour.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Number one, I mean, it's just awesome to be on. I want to say every single week. I never watch live because this is my Sabbath and I typically am like hanging out with kids and stuff, but they're all not feeling well. So I was like, hey, I'm going to get on tonight and have something to do. So, but yeah, I started streaming about 2020, December, started December. It was right when Santa Bowser came out. And if you guys remember those days, and that's when I started streaming. I actually started like day one, and me and my wife, we've been playing for a while, and then we kind of gave it up because we farm, and it was just taking too much time during the summer and things like that, and we kind of did that multiple times. And but I started in December on Twitch. I got up to about 200 followers, about 30 daily viewers, but it was just draining me with farming and all that stuff. I mean, I stopped about 5 months later in April 2021. I did try to make like the switch to YouTube, try to figure out different times. Like I don't think people understand how hard it is to like content create in general, but it gave me a lot of knowledge and like, information. And then at that time it was like Sammy D, like Kart Life's channel, and Carlos 85 were like the only 2 people that I saw that were really streaming it like long term. And I was like, man, I could jump in there and do it. No one's really doing it on Twitch, I mean, Carlos was, but he was doing different times because of his, where he lives and stuff. So it's just been, it was a really fun ride. I walked away from the game. I actually talked to you about this, about that time. And I was like, man, I don't know if I'm going to play anymore with this whole gacha pipe and things like that. And then I decided I was going to come back. And then lo and behold, here we are. No more gacha pipe. My wife's also just started playing as of the Bowser Tour. Shout out to Frenzy fanboy. Yeah, man, it's just it's really fun to be in a community, which is the whole reason, like with COVID and things like that, I started streaming in the first place, was just to get out there and meet people that had like mind and things like that. As far as the game itself, like I played like Mario Kart 64, like I was time trialing that thing up. So like this just melded right into where we are now, and like the competitive aspect and nature of this game is just so much fun and so time consuming. That's the only one thing,
Yeah.
but it is fun. But yeah, man, I'm really happy to be here. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I want to give a shout out to all the creators that are out there. I've seen the progression of Frenzy Fans channel. Matt Aldridge is on here. I've seen his channel, and I've seen your channel just grow and grow and grow, and it's been really cool to see. So yeah, it's awesome.
Awesome, man.
Thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
it's one of those things where, you know, it's a blessing and a curse. So sometimes you're like, I don't feel like doing this, but once you turn the camera on, like it's just so cool to hang out with your friends. And ultimately that's what keeps me coming back. But yeah, talking about how easy it is to create content. Matt Aldridge, welcome, man. How are you doing?
Easy is probably not the right word. Last night, my audio didn't save and I had to redo my entire reaction. I was like, I'm done. I'm just gonna go to bed. And then I woke up and I was like, okay, my attitude's sorted now. Maybe I'll make a video. So yeah. Thanks, Bobcat and everyone. I know, you know, Frenzy fans, you guys will know the grind that can be sometimes making content, but we do it because we love it. So yeah, for me, I've been playing the game for 18 months now, creating content for, it must be like 6 months now, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, just having fun, eh? And I think I have to keep coming back and bring myself back to that fun aspect of what I enjoy in the game. So, you know, some of the questions we're going to ask today is like, do you grind EXP? Spoiler, I don't find it fun. So, you know, there's things that in ACR, like I've got this love-hate relationship with ACR. I love it, and then I get sick of it and I don't want to do it. So, you know, I think it's so important to just keep coming back to what you enjoy in the game. And so I've been through like a million cycles of that at this point. But I love making content and I love just sharing that with everyone. And yeah, just having fun with it and doing what I want to do. So yeah. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. So if you haven't already subscribed to Matt Aldridge, there will be a link in the description. Please definitely do that. He's closing in on 1,000 subscribers. In fact, I think he and my good friend
Draco
55 are going head to head. We'll see. Subscribe to them both. That's always a good rule of thumb. But definitely subscribe to Matt Aldridge. Give him some support. A lot of his channel talks a lot about strategies, but more sometimes around all cup ranking. I loved your new video about the new auto clicker with an iPhone. So if you have an iPhone and you want to get in on the auto clicker time saver, definitely check out Matt Aldridge's video. It's a phenomenal video. Highly recommend that. But Matt actually got second place in our Member Multiplayer Monday contest in I think it was August. We're actually starting it back up in October. It's something we do every other month just because it's every week. So I try to like, you know, give them a month off, but we'll be kicking back off. You only need to, I think, Matt, you only had two submissions. It's all you need in order to do really well. But usually second place get to join us for Kart Talk. So if you'd like to join Kart Talk, definitely check that out. We'll be starting on Monday for that competition. It's always a blast. We've already had some heated competitions on the stream earlier today between some of our members. It'll be awesome to have that. And then Torchy Torch, I think this is maybe your second episode. Glad to have you. I know we had you kind of sitting on the bench last as an extra, just in case we had a situation. So I said, we got to bring you on, and happy that you're coming on this episode for two reasons. One, I think we're matching, we're up against each other in fantasy football. So had to tell you on screen, you're going down, even though I lost Trey Lance to injury. So I'm going to be limping in with some Jameis Winston, if he's even, anyway. So glad to have you there. And then you've had a really unique experience with King Mario. So excited to hear that too. But welcome back. If you don't mind, just tell a little bit of people about your background in the game and kind of your love-hate relationship with Mario Kart Tour.
Yeah, I guess I'm a little confused what we're doing here. I thought this was a She-Hulk episode. We were talking some Marvel tonight. Oh,
sure. Yeah, we'll do that. That'll be hour three.
No, thanks for having me on again. I always enjoy being able to listen and talk to this group. There's a lot of great creators, minds. I would really say, and my pastor actually said it to me once when we were just talking about the idea of church. It was that what keeps people coming back to church most frequently is the connections you can make and getting people tied into groups and things like that. And honestly, that's something that I've actually found is true with Mario Kart Tour. No matter how fed up I get with certain things or problems I have with the game, or if I disagree with something that the game is doing. What actually keeps me coming back most frequently is the community. Having the opportunity to listen to my favorite people who make the choice to turn on the camera, or share their opinion, or even just share a couple of pipe polls, or hey, this is something, a strat of the week, whatever it is. So really, I know we'll talk about like what we love, what we hate, what really gets us annoyed. With Mario Kart Tour, what I love the most is really the people who are showing up every week and just putting their faces on camera and sharing a couple of stories, couple ideas, their life experiences, going through storms right now, leaving the game and coming back to the game, creating a new channel and working their way to 1,000. There's so many great stories that are happening right now, and that's what keeps me coming back.
Love it, man. That's inspiring. Also, as a shameless plug, I think something like 40 or so subscribers away from 2,000. So it would be really cool if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed. If you don't mind just subscribing real quick, that would be really cool to hit 2,000 right here in the anniversary tour. We also have Jedi. Welcome, Jedi. So Jedi has a very unique background. First of all, let us know a little bit about where you're calling from. Tell us a little bit about your background. But I met Jedi through a friend of a friend, and every time I'm with Kart Talk, I'm always, we always try to set the schedule around what's convenient for our super studs, if at all possible. And then I get really excited. I'm like, who can I bring on that would like bring some unique content to get a unique perspective? And I kind of always have this dream list, and Jedi was on it. We were initially he's like, there's no way I'm getting on that show. And then slowly he's like, hey, my friends talked me into it. I think I'm interested. So we've been trying to make this happen for the last couple months, but Jedi, former top 10, a phenomenal driver, extremely skilled. I'm really, really excited to have you on and hear your background. So Jedi, take it from there, man. How'd you get started in the game? What's kind of what drives you to keep playing every game?
Well, firstly, thanks for the invite, and great to be here amongst all of you. And we'll kick off perhaps with the friends that led you to me, perhaps. We've got God Mode, legend as we know it. Love the guy to bits. Well, probably one of my longest standing friends I've made through the game. And through there, I've met lots of other good friends as well. So shout out to all our little homie, our little group we've got. So we've got Brad, bless his heart. We've got Frenzy Grind and Jeeves, the pipe pull master, bless his heart. So yeah, and obviously I wouldn't be here and being engaged so much in the game if it wasn't for the original group that I stumbled upon when MP launched. So the MKD, if you're always wondering why has he got MKD there, that's the name of our group. So as Mario Kart Dons, I came across it on Facebook randomly and thought, this sounds interesting. Let's have a look at this. And so that's how I landed into that group there. And some of my closest friends, Crick and Soups, who guide me through and root me on through my journey. To be honest, I wouldn't really have that level of support if they weren't there, and they've had my back in every sense, because every grind can make or break you, and I've had my moments and they've always been there to pick me up. So mad love for Soups and Crick, and I'll even mention Groovy, who's one of my closest buddies now as well. So yeah, I think just the amount of people that you can meet through these platforms. I think back to as a kid playing a game growing up on a console, trying to find a bit of downtime with one TV in the house, trying to get it onto the screen. Mum or dad wants to watch this, somebody wants to watch that. So my moment was 6 in the morning when on a Saturday when everyone's KO'd from the week they've had, and used to get on and play Super Mario and 3 and stuff. So that's how my gaming started a long, long time ago. But this is a totally different sort of way of doing it now, and the amount of people you can meet from across the entire world, let alone the neighbors down the street. So it's evolved a lot, and I think it's just a fantastic way to enjoy the game. And if the game stopped tomorrow, we'd still be really good friends.
That's awesome, yeah. Where are you calling from on this?
London. It's about 2:30 in the morning here. So yeah, I live in London. But 2:30 for me is probably similar to like late evening, because it's just the way my body clock is. I'm officially on West Coast timing at the moment. So when they go to bed, that's probably when I'm going to bed.
Nice. You and Hero are probably still on that same clock, man. Well, pleasure to have you, Jedi, and excited to hear your unique background as well. Obviously, a lot of your friends that you listed, good friends of Kart Talk. We got a lot to get into, so I don't want to delay any further. Some of the topics we'll be talking about, things that are happening here in this anniversary tour, like King Mario. We also have this version 3.00 update, the craziness of this try again button. We're going to talk a little bit about battle mode, the battle tour coming on. And then, of course, level 400, tier 99, quad caps. We're going to be getting into all this over the next probably 2 hours, maybe even run it over a little bit. I don't know if we could break the record knowing that Jedi is going to be up until basically the sun comes up, but we'll try our best. We'll
All
start
good.
with the icebreaker. Here in the city tour, we obviously have all city tracks, and the one obviously our loadouts are a little weak compared to most tours, but the one shimmering light is the fact that we can get a little bit more EXP than we normally would, because we never know when these tracks are going to come back. So the icebreaker in reverse order will is how many EXP levels did you grind this tour, and then did you have a strategy? Where did you start? How did you keep track of what cities you grinded? Did you drain or move on, or just kind of skim off the top a little bit? We'll start with you, Jedi.
Oh, I just got them done immediately. Saw an opportunity. I think I got plus 10 from where I was. I think it's 266. Yeah, so about 10 of them, because like you say, some of them have not been around for quite a long while. So I got to 266, but my strat was simple. That's the first, get all the donkey work out the way early, so you can try and enjoy the tracks a little bit more, and with hits for tokens as well. So I just picked the most aggressive character I could find on the top shelf, get through the tracks, blow them to bits, and got through it there through there. So that was the way I really approached it. So you could do tokens at the same time, and sometimes also anything I've picked up that needed XP. So I think that's a good way of doing it, because then you're getting 3 things done at the same time. So you got your track, you got your XP coming, and you're getting your tokens running in. So it just takes a little bit off your time there if you do it that way, I feel.
I always love the killing 3 birds with 1 stone. I'm always, sometimes it's base points, sometimes it's these other things. Who's your aggressive MVP of this tour, would you say?
Oh, probably Big Banana. I remember, because I never get to use them otherwise. So
Ninja or Sunshine, like
whichever tracks they were on, and sometimes I'd even go for Bomb Cannon, because we just got the castle suit, I think it was. So I was doing the XP, and even if it was second shelf, I was like, no problem, we'll hang back in 6 and make a run at the end and just keep blowing them up. So I had a bit of fun with the cannon, and I even did it in MP with the guys. They didn't appreciate me by the end of it. I can tell you that. I can tell you that much for free.
I was gonna say, you and Hero are gonna be probably best friends after this, because he's the Bomb Cannon owner of that gun license, because he is lethal. That is for sure. In fact, why don't we use that as a transition? Hero, what would be are you, with your hiatus, are you even grinding EXP, or what's how are you looking at this tour?
Well, before my little mini vacation, I didn't even grind at all. Like, I would say, with regards to, since I started school, I mean, I would say I was playing the game for maybe 5 minutes per day. That's really how much I have time. Like, I log in, do my, I think today's challenge pipe or whatever, check my daily selects, and that's it. And then I hit the road. So that's what I've been doing. So yeah, I haven't been grinding EXP at all lately. I mean, I've barely had time to do ranks, maybe just barely, you know. And but now that since I'm in a little mini vacation, I've grinded, I think what, I was at 222, and then now I'm at 227, so about 5. So, which was pretty good. So yeah, I think that's something I'll enjoy before I go back. So yeah.
Nice. Torchy Torch, how about you, man? How have you been treating these levels?
I'm probably a little bit different than most folks. I don't drain the XP. Like, there could be courses that come back from like early days of this game, and I would still get the XP from it. I'm at 172. I remember one of the first times I showed up on the Frenzy Fans stream, we were actually talking about that, and Frenzy Fangirl and I had a little bit of a competition, see who would get to 150 first. I mean, that was right around about the time that 200 came out. But yeah, I'm not that person. Honestly, I don't even know how you how people sit there and grind XP like that. Like I've heard like some people just put it on 200, turn off auto item and just like roll through the course and just keep going and going and going. And my brain couldn't handle that. Like I have the type of like mentality, like I need like some type of different type of stimulation rather than just doing the same thing over and over and over again, or I will get fried doing something. So I have maybe went up 2 or 3 levels this tour, but I'm not the drain and go type of guy.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think we all get fried doing it. We just, I guess some of us,
I don't know how people, like I heard Jedi talking about it and I was like, what is happening? Like
no, it's kind of, it reminds me of that commercial back in the 90s where they're like, this is your brain on drugs. It's like this, and they're like they're just smashing the egg with the skillet. It's like, this is your brain getting grinding EXP levels. I'm with you, man. It is not easy to grind. But Frenzy fans, now you were called out there. How about you guys? As you've been traveling, moving, all the other hectic craziness, were you able to grind it all, or is that just like the lowest of low priorities?
For me, it's a low priority, but it typically always is. So Torchy Torch, how long ago did we set that bet where we were both like racing to 150?
I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look at when my first appearance was. It was
like me.
It was
6 months ago. Yeah.
Did you somehow go down?
Wait,
you were
can
like
we find out
140 now?
where you guys are right now? Like where both of you are?
Torch just said he's at 172. I just hit 169.
Okay.
So I feel like I'm a competitive person. So unless I have like a competition to like Torchy Torch, I'll totally slack. So if all of a sudden Torchy Torch were like, hey, I'll race you to 180, I'll start carrying again.
Let's get a Kart Talk bet going. Let's 180. Whoever gets on to 180 first, I'll do something special for you. How about that?
Sounds good. I'll meet you there in 6 months, Torchy Torch.
Frenzy Fan Guy, how about you, man? Any a little bit, hopefully a little bit more grinding than Frenzy Fan Gal?
Yeah, EXP is not a goal or anything special. It happens.
What are you at though?
Like 226. I was probably at 225 for a long time.
By the way, you're one more level than I am, so kudos to you on that.
Oh, well, let me check because I may be lying. Hold on.
I just
126
today.
No.
He was grinding a lot during his top 10 run though.
Okay.
How many levels up did you go during that push?
Probably like 3 or 4. Oh, 227. I'm at 227. Did I say 227 or 226?
You said 226.
You said 226. It's not a big deal, but so like as you're going through this top 10, you also found time to grind EXP, or it just happened on accident, like while you were grinding?
Oh yeah, no. Going for top 10, you play like 100 hours, and so again, like the EXP is kind of like secondary, like it just comes because you're just playing so much. So, all
right, cool. Matt Aldridge, in EXP level grinding, it sounds like other than Jedi, everyone's been kind of taking the back seat on the level grinding. How about yourself?
Yeah, because I haven't been going for ACR, where you're always resetting and you're not really progressing. I guess I've been probably, similar to Frenzy Fanboy, just, when you finish races, you get more EXP. But I've got 2 accounts, so playing both every night can be a little bit, Torchy's like, no way, no. One's free to play, so the good thing is I only play, like I'll log into that account, I will play until the coins run out, and then I'll stop playing. So that can happen within like 10 minutes, so it's really not that big a deal. And while I'm doing that, my main account will just be sitting there collecting coins on auto clicker. So I don't really lose time. I just kind of play one account, have fun, and then swap over to the other one. And based on the amount I've been using the auto clicker, if you use it on every single cup or every single course, you can actually collect EXP automatically without doing anything. But it is very tour specific. So the bad thing about this tour is it's by hitting opponents. So you want to use an auto clicker on auto mode so that when frenzies go, it will release the giant bananas. If you go on 50cc with camera mode and a frenzy happens, it doesn't release them. So there's those subtle little things which affect how you set things up, which means that in auto mode, you don't collect EXP. and that's the tie in there. So in essence, I'm not really grinding EXP intentionally this tour, apart from just finishing races. I'm at like 213 on one account and 147 on the other account. So it's a lot of, EXP goes up over time, but the reality is after level 200, there isn't really much point in grinding for it. So I feel like people do it because they want to keep up with the Joneses. And that's a big part of my strategy now, is anything where I feel like I'm just trying to keep up because everyone else is doing something, I'm actually checking myself with that and going, do I need to be doing this? Is this actually going to help me? And if you look at the extra, first place position points you get for EXP, it's not worth it to me. And that's a decision that I've made. What's important to me is that I keep developing both accounts, have fun with it, and then I've got time for my family and I've got time to do what I want to do. So yeah, you got to make those trade-offs, and that's how I've kind of broken it down for myself. So yeah, I'm quite big at the moment on thinking about how I can fit this game into my life rather than around the other way. So you'll hear that coming through probably in a few answers to questions.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say if that mic wasn't on a stand, that's a mic drop moment right there. I absolutely love that. It's a fundamental key of the GP90X movement there. Yeah, Bobcat, how about you, man? EXP grinding at all?
No, I just looked, actually. I was at 200 before I left the game, maybe 201. I've gone up 9 levels in like 4 tours, and I think the reason is because I always grind I'm trying to get to 80, so like that's my focus.
Tier 80?
But yeah, tier 80. So I'm at 78. Hopefully we'll be at 79. We'll see. This tour. But yeah, that's the biggest thing for me, is just grinding right now. But what I've noticed is when I notice the bar and I see that it's like 3/4 of the way up at like 72 or 74, I'm like, oh, I can knock out a few races and get there and stuff like that. So that's the only reason why I'm even up there, to be honest with you. So I'm at 72 right now. I just saw it. So I guess I got a little grinding to do tonight to get to 211. So but yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I'm with you. Is like seeing that bar moved, and man, it's everything in the world. When everyone was grinding, like Tabor and these other people were saying that they were grinding just like blindly, and I was like, I don't know how you do. Like for me, I have to see that carrot. I have to see just a little dangle there. Yeah, my strategy, I would just say, I kind of mentioned this in our server, and it feels like I want to kind of mention that just to hear to people. You're probably not gonna be able to grind, especially if you hear from everyone here. You're probably not gonna be able to grind every track, all the EXP. So it is. I've been kind of taking the approach of grinding until I get to a certain number of gain, and then just moving on to another track. So for me, like, it might start at like maybe 3% every time that you grind, and then it goes down a little bit every time. Then it's like 2.8 levels, 2.8% of a level after finishing a race on 200cc, and then it goes down a little bit more, and then just once it gets to like 1%. That's kind of my point of diminishing return. You can set that wherever you feel comfortable. I think Raker was saying he said it like 0.75 of a point, and then he'll move on. But it's better, in my opinion, it's better to skim all the tracks than it is to like fully drain one track, because you could do like 5 races on like more, and you still would have stuff left in it, but it's pretty minimal. So that's kind of been my strategy. I've been starting with the Sydneys. I'm almost done with all the Sydneys, which is really happy. I've done all the 3s. Halfway through the 2s.
Can I say 2 more things about it real quick? Okay, so when the last like update came out too, I grinded to get to that 200 level. Like I got to like 197 or something like that, and I was all the way down at like 180. So like that tour right before, and then we had the Bowser's tour, and then they came out with that information. So it wasn't that big a deal to me after I found out that it wasn't going to be worth as much. So that was definitely one thing. But also, if they just made the rewards a little bit more, maybe people would grind a little bit more. So I mean, I would.
Yeah,
Remember we got 15 rubies at like what 12 or something like that, like at tier 12.
Yeah.
Like if they just did something, especially I was really disappointed at 100. You get to 100 or then 200. Like if it wasn't just a little bit more, or if they just did like 1,000 coins every time, people would grind a lot more for sure. So
I think so. Just get to 200, and you'll be straight from there. I think you'll be fine. All right. Now we'll get into the bulk of the conversation, where we're less targeted necessarily, but we got a pretty extroverted group, I'd say, here. So I think we'll be good. Just letting the conversation start. But we'll start with King Mario, guys. He's the elephant in the room right now. Coinbox is king. It's a very unique situation, guys. We basically had the worst starting value of any driver ever, coinbox or anything, because it's all city tracks. He's like the hardest to acquire because he's non-spotlight with 15 other freaking Marios. But at the same point in time, on the other side of the pendulum, we also have pipes going away. So you have people like, I don't know, there's probably like a psychological term for it, but it's just, there's like this like need to like pull because it's the what I call the Chick-fil-A feeling, where you got to get Chick-fil-A on Saturday because you know it's closed on Sunday. Like it's just like this tempting. I don't know if Matt, I don't know if that translates.
No, we don't have Chick-fil-A here.
Okay,
That's
all
really
right, but
funny.
you get my point. It's like, it's because you know you're not going to have it in the future. You like want to pull it now. Was Nintendo trying to make us like hate pipes enough that we would be like good riddance, or was this kind of like their last like cash grab to try to get whatever remaining people that suckers that are there before they open it up into new countries or the countries that have kicked him out? Or what do you guys think about King Mario? Was it even worth the pull? What was your experience? And actually, I want to start with you, Torch, because I know you got torched.
I did. I actually I uploaded a video just because I wanted everyone to kind of live in my misery if they wanted to watch a rough pipe pulling situation. To kind of go through some numbers, I spent 1,222 rubies to get him. I gained 57,350 coins from the pulls. And so my decision was purely that I knew going into it that this was probably going to be I'm not a big spender in the game. I wouldn't call myself whale level by any stretch, but I knew this was kind of going to be a last hurrah for me to maybe do something. The only time I ever really spend money is if a new item comes to the game. I like to just put that on my account, and then that's really as far as I go with it. So I knew it wasn't going to be easy. I wasn't expecting that much because I read through, I listened to Antilev and kind of the percentages there. I listened to KG and everyone who kind of went through the numbers, and I was like, okay, worst case scenario, I'm probably going to have to be in this about 900 to 1,000 rubies, somewhere around there. So when I got past that 1,000 number, I was like, oh, so I'm one of the 10 that everybody kept talking about. And it was really that last pull that did it. I did hear during the ACR game plan when Flo was talking about it, I hadn't heard that strategy, the 4 singles and then a 10. That was a little bit different, different spin that I wish I would have heard maybe early on. That might have been helpful, but yeah, it was a big spend on my part. I took kind of to something Matt said earlier. This is a game for me. This is something that I enjoy doing. Making an investment in the game that I have spent hours doing. I mean, I don't really have a lot of things that I have interest in other than this game. Like, I work, I play with my daughter, I play this game. That's I'm not an interesting or exciting person by any stretch of the imagination. So, and this is one of the highlights of my week. So maybe that tells you just a little bit about me. But honestly, I was willing to put a little bit into this game for the opportunity to get. And my favorite type of, who doesn't love it? I take that back. There are plenty of people who don't like Coinboxer, but I really enjoy having Coinbox characters. I remember when I first started playing, like how upset I was that I didn't have party time Pauline all the way back then. So yeah, I know that is a big number. It's crazy. Like even though I spent that big number, I already won ranked last week, and then I just finished my token shop pipe pulls, so I'm 100 plus rubies again already. So yeah, it was a rough experience if you just hear about it, but in the end, I really wanted to have that character on my account. And this is a game that I really enjoy. So it's, if you can find the fun, if you can find the joy in doing what I did, then that's okay. That's really where the line is. Like, if you aren't having fun, you're not financially able to do it, those type of things, that's kind of where the line gets drawn. But I was okay doing it, and it's okay. There was a lot of content creators who said, don't do it, don't go into it. But what I'll just say is, if you can step back and say that you are having fun in this game and that you've found joy in what you're doing, and responsible joy, that's okay.
Did you
I
say
like responsible joy? That's a good term. I like that. Go ahead.
did you say the Mario alts? Did you say how many you got of each? Like,
Oh, I didn't
during the
count up that
1,000?
number.
Oh, okay.
I started watching the video through today, and it was like 24 minutes long worth of just pipe pulls, and I lost count of of the alts. I mean, I didn't take anything all the way to 8, but I'll say, like, my Satella view, he was 7 flat, and he is like 2 tickets away from 8 now. And there's plenty of alts that I got along the way. I got Tuxedo a few times, so he's almost at 7. Yeah, there's plenty of extras, and like I said, that number of points right now is definitely a plus.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah, you have a really positive outlook on that. I think a lot of people would feel like mentally crippled in that type of situation. But I love the positive attitude, and the fact that you got some of these. I mean, Shadow of You and Mario Tuxedo still have some really good like value in and of itself. So you know, it's one thing. You know, I got a lot of Aviator. I know, talking to Kareem, he got like Aviator level 8s, and he's like, was not expecting this. So hey, you know, kudos to you just on the attitude that you have. But yeah, that could happen. That could happen to any one of us that pulled for us. But I want to definitely go around the horn, because this was a one of the most controversial pipes ever in the history of Mario Kart Tour. Anyone want to jump in on their experience?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, for me, I was planning on pulling on my free-to-play account, and I looked, and I really connect with what you're saying, Torch, about what means something to you in the game, or what brings you the joy. Because for me, I was like, yeah, this is going to be fun, I'm going to pull, and then I realized, actually, this pipe does nothing for my account, like even for my free-to-play account. Like, I was thinking, you know, if I didn't have Satella View or Tuxedo, and I didn't have them leveled up, maybe I would have gone into it. But I've already got both of those leveled up on both accounts, and Mario King's going to do nothing for me, and I'm not going to invest in him straight away, because his value is actually, it's going to cause me headaches and not be something I enjoy, because now I'm going to have this coin box sitting on my account, which I can't invest into, because that's not how I play the game. I want to invest in the things that are actually good for my account. So I actually stepped back and went, you know what? I don't like this. This is not good. I can't stand by that decision and be happy with that, because it's just going to give me a headache now, and then it's potentially going to give me a headache in the future. So that was my personal decision to actually fully stay out of it. And I'm actually proud of myself that I still haven't pulled either pipe, the pipe on either account. I'm actually kind of amazed with myself, because I saw everyone caving. no shame. Like, at the end of the day.
But now that you've seen what's coming out, does it not pique your interest a little more?
No, and it justifies why I saved, because this is the thing, is we're all on this hamster wheel, and, you know, waiting for, you know, oh, now we have to go after this next thing, and now everyone's gonna be, oh, is Luigi got a good skill? I love Luigi. I can just go into the Spotlight shop, even if it's 500 rubies, I could buy him on both accounts. But I also won't just do that unless he's actually valuable for me. So that's the way I play the game, and I'm kind of proud of myself for staying out of the pipe. I think that's the first coin box where I haven't actually pulled for. I think apart from Daisy Tidris, I didn't have enough rubies on my free to play. But yeah, it is what it is. Like, maybe I'll live to regret that decision, but at the end of the day, you stand by your decisions and you play the game in the way that you want to. So that's for me.
I don't think you'll regret that. But Bobcat, you want to join in and share your experience?
Oh gosh, I mean, now I feel a little bad, because I was gonna compare
to
it
make
to, like,
anyone feel bad.
So if, like, McDonald's was going away, I never eat McDonald's, like, I never do. But if it was going away and I knew I'd never get to try like a Big Mac again or something like that, maybe I'd go and do it. So, like, that was kind of my mindset, is like, this is the last pipe we're gonna have, and it was the one that made the most sense for me, especially being that King Mario actually helped me the first week. I did not have Yoshi Kangaroo until I got him in a free pipe, but I only had him at a 1, and then I had a swimwear at a 3. So shout out to Captain OG Captain Evan.
Okay.
We had like the exact same luck in the pipe. So I had 500 rubies to start. He had 500 rubies to start. We pulled a whole bunch. I had a little bit better experience in my pulls than he did, but we both ended with 500 rubies and not pulling them. I went and got a pack and got them. And that was the cat parafoil pack, because I was like, well, I could take that up to a level 5 and I need it for ranked and things like that. So we can just go ahead and do that one last time. So I did it and I got him. I mean, that's super lucky. I set it in Discord and then he set it immediately right underneath me that he did the exact same pack and got the exact same pull. So, but I got 25 Mario alts and I got 3 new Marios and I wasn't playing for pretty much 2 of them. Cat Mario and Golf Mario. So like, you know, I do like getting different players and things like that. I also got Satellaview, which I didn't have. I did not go into that pipe waiting for the winter pipe that year. So I stayed out of the Satellaview pipe. So yeah, I mean, it all worked out. I got Aviator up to a 3. I got Penguin twice. I got Chef 3 times and he's going to be used next tour. So that could be really good for me as well. And then I got Tuxedo 2 more times. So just 2 tickets, you know, saved there to get him to a level 8. So yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, the whole thing is like, we want that star too. Like, you know, you get that star, you get that feeling inside and things like that.
What's that star mean?
Yeah, what's that star mean? So it was just, yeah,
We'll be gone.
exactly. So like, yeah, it was just a really fun pipe to go into. I know that a lot of people got hit like pretty hard on it and stuff like that too. Like it definitely wasn't great for everybody, but I mean, for everybody that got them, congratulations. For everybody that didn't get them, I mean, pipes are going away. So something to look forward to is that you know, you get to kind of, you know, save your rubies and pick what you need and start using these really cool things that people put out like Antelope and start maxing out your accounts for what you want. So it's going to be really cool. But I had a great experience in my last pipe pools and I really enjoyed it. So I'm ready for a new chapter though, for sure.
I bet. Yeah, it's weird because it seemed like everyone who pulled like on Sunday morning, like between a specific hour and specific hour, like they all got them. They all got them really easy. But then like after that, just like everyone, it was a crapshoot. Like everyone got like what was supposed to be the odds. I remember I was talking with Tabor a little bit, and we were like, and he's like, it seems like the odds are boosted a little bit. And then like an hour later, it's like, nope, they're not boosted. Everyone's getting like some crazy stuff. And like this, we're just like, you're just seeing everyone's highlight reel, just like you are on Facebook or Instagram or whatever else. And so it kind of, you know, skews our thought process of what everyone's getting, but it is what it is. I'll be honest with you though. Tabor and I made a little bet. We said it was about Sammy, if he was going to go back in, and let's just
I knew he was.
Wow.
There was no doubt.
I lost a $1 bet to Tabor on that. I thought he was done, but he went back in, and I think it looks like he got him. So kudos to Sammy for kind of following Timmy Torch's thought process.
Does anybody know, was that just one more pull or was that a couple more?
He did a couple extra pulls.
Okay,
but,
tenors.
He had the same mindset that, you know, Torchy Torch was talking about, which is just like play this game for no one else other than yourself and do what you want to do. And there's so much respect with that. But you know, at the same point in time, I felt like Sammy was done. He was not done though. So I lost that $1 bet. He said, I'm not going to spend it all in one place. So we'll see how he tries to do that. But,
I feel like he kind of lucked out though, knowing we're going to get 100 rubies and stuff in the next tour. So if he just did 2 more pulls,
you know,
and,
yeah.
you know,
So
get it right back. So
I think some people could have seen that news and made that decision. So shout out to Sammy if he saw that news and said, you know what, this gives me a different viewpoint of like what kind of decisions I can make with my rubies. So kudos.
You hear that, Matt? There's going to be 100 more rubies.
Yeah.
If you want to go into
Yeah.
that.
Stop tempting me, guys. I did want to say
You're
about,
pre-rolling.
I'm proud of that.
Yeah, thank you, Hero. You're my friend. But I did want to actually shout out to Sammy D and say thank you to him, because I have no issue. Like, everyone play the game in the way that you want to, and so I respect that. But actually, what he did and the stance that he made and his approach and everyone who went into the pipes and showed me what it was going to look like, that helped me to make my personal decision of what I wanted to do. And it wasn't about oh, everyone's getting him, so I can get him too. Because I saw those videos too. Don't worry. I saw the Discord posts 30 minutes after the reset and the pipe's there and everyone's, I got him in my first tenner.
Yeah,
Sorry, Eric, go ahead.
I was gonna say a certain someone managed to get him under his second 10 pole, and yet this guy just walked out, and I thought he wanted to scream. It looked like he was about to scream into the world.
Yeah,
I didn't want to wake up my family. I was gonna have like 20 more minutes to record. Yeah. Sorry, Matt, go ahead.
So I just wanted to say,
I was that person, by the way.
Thank you, Sammy, and thanks to everyone who pulled, because that's the amazing thing about YouTube and the content we create. Now the pipes are going away, so it will change. It will be more talking about the strategy around should you purchase or should you not. But at the end of the day, what we're doing is we're seeing other people make decisions and we're trying to make decisions for ourselves. So that's been a really amazing thing about the pipe pulls. And what Sammy did and what others did by demonstrating the good, the bad, and the really ugly, in case of yours, Torch, and others similar situation. I think Kareem had a really bad situation. So yeah, thank you, Sammy, and thanks to others who made a stance and really showed us what these pipes look like and helped us make our own decisions.
Yeah, I'll be honest, like with my account, like with any type of pipe pulling thing that I do, any video, because that's how my channel was born, was really around the pipe pull and strategy and stuff. I ended up just like pulling on pipes just because I wanted to show people what they could experience, good or bad. And I was always prepared to receive the bad side of it. And honestly, I saw a lot of bad pipes. There's a couple times where I'm trying to remember, there was the one with Dry Bowser where I got him over and over and over and over and over and over again. I think I got him like 8 times, and until I finally got the one driver that I wanted. So yeah, I think shout out to Sammy D. I'm glad that people saw that, but I actually felt bad like when I got him so early. I'm like, oh man, I feel like I'm going to like lead so many people astray. They're probably going to get really hyped about this pipe. It's going to be, and I'm going to look like I'm actually going to be the bad guy, because I'm going to lead to other people getting more packs and pulling out their wallet and doing other stuff. I legitimately felt bad about it. I later got I got 2 Marios and I got a double King Mario pull, and I just kept it to myself. I'm like, this is something I don't want to get people excited about, because I knew it. I knew I'm like, I'm gonna be that bad. I'm gonna be the bad guy. I'm gonna be the guy that leads to people getting kicked out of their house or something. I don't know what it's gonna be.
It's so funny you say that, because on Frenzy Fans Discord, I said the exact same thing, but the opposite. I was like, I think it's really cool Sammy stopped and didn't get him and spent 500 rubies, so then people don't feel that bad, if they didn't get him and they saved up 250 or 500. So I feel the same way. I mean, these people that have saved their rubies and worked really hard, like my wife spent 300 after she did 1 tenner on the second week pike and the first week, sorry, and got the gold coin glider because she just came back to the game, and white waves. And white waves, I think, is going to be something special. But for all those people that missed out, man, I feel really bad. But it was nice to have someone there, like especially someone high up in the community that was like, man, he didn't get him, so I don't feel as bad, and stuff. So
yeah, I want to hear from Jedi. How'd you approach that pipe? Because I know you're a very unique player. Were you trying to like double up and triple up on Mario, or what was your?
No way in there. I was bricking it going in, to be honest. I was just full of like 99% fear and anxiety and like 1% sort of excitement, because everybody likes to pull, but I certainly do for various reasons. Everybody likes to pull a pipe, but I think after the Chuck nightmares, I was really not looking forward to this, but I was like, can't this pipe just arrive when I knew it was coming? I just want it over with. It took me 28 tens to get Chuck out, and I just thought, if that's what it takes to get a 1 in 3 chance and not get him in 28, what hope have I got when 1 in 15? And I got him in 2 tens. So I was like, thank you very much, game will close you off. And off I went. But there's a lot of horror stories out there. So it averages out. So it's like, I don't know, 700 rubies for both of them. That's not bad. But I was the Chuck, I wanted to pull him up a bit and get him to, like, if in those types of pipes on a desirable item, for the way I approach it, it's like you want to get to 6. That's the sort of benchmark. You want to get the item up to about 6, ticket the rest. And Chuck to only come out after that, I was just like, yeah, I'm sort of done with this. But it's up with the coins as well. So when you think about coins going away, how you're going to get them and stuff, I think my misfortune could sort of work out in the end, because I wouldn't have pulled that. I would have got him well before that to a higher level, but I wouldn't have had as many coins. Same with this Mario Pipers, but I didn't feel the vibe going in there. But on Wednesday, when the new week started, I got toasted, and I had some rubies in the account, and thank God for screenshots, because then I woke up to the following day thinking, okay, where did those 500 rubies go? We need to work this out. And I went back in and I got him once more, and I thought, and I got a couple of tuxedos, which was the only other driver I really wanted. So it was okay, but there's a lot about horror stories out there, but it's an opportunity to get those coins in. But it's different for what your account is. It's different on what level and how you invest. It's different. Are you free to play? You know, you work hard for your rubies. Is this right or is this wrong? There's no right answer. I think it was a case of you got to do what you feel is right for based on where you are in the game, whether the pipes are going or not. Somebody like me is like, you know, let's try and get him and out after that chuck horror. But at the same time, there's that temptation to go in for coins as well, because I don't know what that's going to look like going forward. So we've got a nice little bit there, and just want to protect it as best as I can, because you don't know what you're going to get back. And to be honest, they're gonna go quite quick, I reckon. So yeah, I was happy overall considering the previous nightmares.
Yeah, so let me ask you about that. New pivot question. Do you think that having Charging Chuck in a special pipe as a non-spotlight a couple tours ago, do you think that changed our viewpoint on this Mario pipe? Do you think it actually helped us be more optimistic or less optimistic, or do you feel like it made us?
I think it's dependent on what you have in your inventory. So Chuck for me does nothing, but I still wanted him to come up in case you get something later. So the part of the work's already shifted, and you can just top him up with tickets. So I was just thinking in my head, let's get him to about 4 or 5. Any higher is great. It didn't happen, but when I've looked at his track list, I was never investing in him straight away, because he's literally giving me one track at the moment, and he's still holding on to that one track, and I've got a double cap level 7 boomerang on it. So I'm really just swapping out the skilled for maybe a little easier run, and even that's Neo Bowser, and that's an old track which probably rotates, once in a blue moon. So I think with both box drivers, they get you with the desirability factor. They look cool, pipes are going away. It's a box driver. We've got to get him. In reality, depending on where you are in the game, it's going to help one person 10 times more. It's going to help another. If you're sort of like where I am with my box drivers and my Mii Suits and stuff like that, these drivers offer nothing. So they're never going to get investments at all. Whereas for a newer player or somebody at a different level in the game, they'll pick up a lot of tracks and work for them. But if you're an established player with lots of max box drivers, I can see these drivers probably falling in the Hakama category, Rosa Swimwear, Dry Bones Gold, 4-5 tracks. They won't reach the heights of Meowser, PGP, Mii Suit. They're never, ever getting there. So for me, it's a case of, it's probably saved me a little bit somehow, because I'm never going to ticket them and I'll get by without them until they get to they have to get to about, I always just go by track coverage. I'm driven by that. If they get to 4 to 6 or 7 double fine, they get beyond 6 to 8, then you get your 888. So they have to work. They have to work for it, not me. If you want the investment, you have to work for my tickets. Is the best way. And what it's given me an opportunity to do by saving all the tickets on these new coinbox drivers, I've just gone into the Mii Suits. But with the new update and what's coming next, I'm glad I didn't go fully in, because we don't know what it's going to hold regarding overall base points. So it's very interesting. I'm sure we'll have a discussion about that later. But I just think, different for everybody. For me, not worth any investment. Somebody else will be loving life.
Yeah, I completely agree, Jedi. And just one point I would make as well is that Gold Chuck and King Mario are coming out way too close together. So the reality is, I'm banking. You've got to hedge your bets either way. Either you bet that there will be overlap and you still do it, or you bet that there'll be overlap and you don't do it. So that was my decision. Is Charging Chuck Gold already has a couple tracks for me. He's at level 1. So is Yoshi Gold Egg. So is Daisy Tie Dress. what's the point in going in for another one that starts with 10 cities? I need to pick, and question block me as well. So you've got to stake your bet. So I'm just hoping that that the next meta one that gets all the right buffs isn't King Mario. So I could be eating my words in 3 to 6 months time, but you know, at the end of the day,
it's how they get you at the end. You just don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got this wizard I hear at Nintendo, and that's what we call him in amongst our
turn
friends.
4.
You know, there's an actual wizard there who can literally. He sat there with his wand. A new tour comes, a new track comes. He's got this magical power that he can do over every player in the game, no matter who you are or what you have, in one swoop of his wand, and bang. Okay, what am I going to do over there? Okay. And then he just interlinks everything without it linking. And that's how they get you. And the algorithm, if somebody works it out, please DM me. I'm over here. I'd love to know how we can try to get around this. But I think they'll get their little bit of love. I think it hurts more when you see them constantly in ranked and somebody else of your opponents has got it, he's got it. And then it fizzles out. So it's just riding the storm, I think, if you haven't got him. It reminds me of Gold Yoshi. He was on fire, and that fire, as soon as I took him to triple, he didn't get a single track. And I was like, right, cheers, game. So they get you like that. So ride the storm, and but I don't see him becoming the next big thing. The biggest thing's already out there.
Frenzy Fanboy and Girl, I was kind of curious, like I saw Frenzy Fangirl get Gold Chuck pretty quick. Frenzy Fanboy, I know you went in and didn't have that luck. Did that influence either of you on your feelings on this Mario pipe?
I think I call him Chuckles because I love it, but I think he's a cautionary tale to a lot of people. And like, I don't know, I believe in polling responsibly. So like, if you're not going in debt over it, and if you're not like totally strapping your account, like as long as it brings you joy, do what you want to do. So we haven't pulled for him yet, but we both are going to. We're going to do a pipe pulling party, just the two of us. And I have a budget in mind that I'm willing to spend for him. And if I get him, great. And if I don't, that's okay too. I think if Chuckles taught us anything, it's just the mentality that you just have to be okay with whatever happens, right? I know a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people like mortgage their home. I'm kind of kidding, but not really, for Chuckles. And so like, I don't know, like for me personally, I have my budget and I'm just going to do what feels good and go with it. What about you?
Yeah, so I haven't pulled at all on anything. We've been so busy, but we actually are going to get like official internet on Tuesday, which is going to be the last day of the tour. And so we're going to try and do like a live stream, probably like a 2 or 3 hour thing.
Yeah.
A few hours before the end of the tour, where, I mean, we'll have like all of our token shop, all of our freebie pipes, all of our everything pipes, and we'll both be pulling from the special pipes, like simultaneously doing a pipe pulling party. And so it'll be a live video, and so people can join and, you know, kind of see what's going on, tell us when to reset, tell us not to reset and stuff like that. But I think I'm going to get early because I didn't get Chuckles.
Yeah.
And I keep on hearing stories about people that had horror stories or like a really hard time getting Gold Chuck. That this time King Mario's coming easy, and people that got Gold Chuck easy, it's King Mario's coming like way later. So we'll have to see.
I got Chuckles really easy, and I'm going to get King Mario really easy too, so it's going to be fine. Good
of language.
Love it.
Well, best of luck when you pull. Really hope you get what you want.
Thanks.
Just don't
And
get
if
caught
we
in the
don't-
maintenance. Don't get caught in the maintenance they're doing. Because I think they're like shutting down the game like right when the new tour starts.
2 a.m. to 3:30 a.m. I think Eastern time. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You may not be able to ride it into the next tour, as I think was what he's saying.
Yeah.
Something to that extent. So yeah, you know what? There's a couple good questions more about this topic, but I think now that we're 1 full hour into the episode, I think we got to get to some of the updates and some of the other topics, because this is, guys, we have arguably the biggest update in Mario Kart Tour history. I don't even think any of the other updates even pale in comparison to this when it comes to a new feature, like new tiers, new levels, new caps, Like and honestly, that's only what they've told us so far. There could be a lot more. So in trying to like organize the conversation, we'll start with the version 3.00 update. So we'll kind of start a little dabbling in what we do know, like what do we have right now. So I think the biggest feature, I think to me, I have to put like the reset button as like the best feature that Nintendo's come out with. But right below that is this try again feature. It is a phenomenal feature. If you haven't already tried it, by the way, for auto clicker, I'm sure Matt, it's even easier for you now, because it's probably changed even since your video came out earlier this week. Because it's literally just like I've been running like auto mode while we're doing it here. It's just like literally a try again and just automatically pops right into the auto mode.
Wow, yeah.
It's like it's seamless. It's phenomenal. So anyway, this is one of the best features in the game. Literally like probably number 2 of all time when it comes to the quality of life. Like not just like set it, forget it. You didn't even know I was doing all that, but like for me, it's like that is a huge piece. Now, here's where Raker takes his question. Regarding the try again option for the update, it seems that Nintendo was trying to potentially make the coinbox, the boomboxing easier. If you restart a race, you get the same lobby, but a different starting lineup. So imagine you have 2 coinbox bots in your lobby, starting at 7th place or 8th place, or you just finished a race. Plus try again. Now the 2 coinbox bots will be in maybe different positions. You just finished a couple races. Boombox might be in spot 1 or 4. It happened to me on my stream today. I had literally PGP, Tuxedo Mario, and Rosalina Swimwear, like 1, 2, and 3 in the starting block. And I just reset until I got my boombox, got it within, I think, 10 minutes or so. But do you think this feature would cause you to want to boombox more often? Do you think that you would invest in boombox drivers or boomerang drivers more often too?
Not really.
Absolutely.
Who said absolutely? I want to hear their opinion first.
There's nothing worse than getting the lobby of your dreams and being like, I cannot quit this because I'm going to get like another 400 points. And then you get the 400 points and then you get crap lobby after crap lobby for like hours. Like I hate that so much. So I am personally stoked for it. That's my take on life. Thank you.
Hero would like to beg to differ. Let's hear the plaintiff here.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong, the try again feature is really fantastic for people that are boomboxing, but at the same time, it goes back to matter of time. Like, will you have the time and effort to get like phenomenal boomboxes runs? That's my only thing. And I don't know, maybe I'm speaking on my behalf now that I'm back in school and stuff, so I don't have that time, and people are also working as well. And I think that's that. And with regards to the update StudFit, I mean, I'm just glad that they didn't mention level 9. I was just so thankful.
No.
I'm gonna edit this out. I've never edited a Kart Talk. I'm gonna have to edit that out. I don't want to even put that in the universe.
Wow, they're listening to us. Do you realize that you can't
They're
say
definitely
stuff
listening
like
to
that?
us.
Quad capping is greater than level 9. Come fight me, please.
I think they did a great thing for all the premium skills, because think about Coinbox. How excited are you when you get to a lobby without another Coinboxer in there? So you kind of have that. Lucky 7, I mean, that's sometimes a grind because you're trying to grind out all the badges. So you're able to keep that lobby around a little bit longer. Boombox, we've already talked that one out. I mean, it feels like the premium skills that have actually all gotten an uptick, because just how, and maybe it's just from our point of view because of just of how we view those premium skills, but I think all of them got some type of enhancement by doing this personally.
Yeah,
I agree totally with that 100%. It's going to work for every skill that you use in the game. So if you wind the bots out and you got no non-bot lobby, the worst thing is, oh yeah, of course you're 8th and you're boxing up. So okay, run the race through, restart, same lobby, no badges, and eventually you get to 1st. Whereas currently you can get to no badges and then they just reappear out of nowhere, and then they call their buddy down the road, hey, there's a race over here, and then bang, there's about 4 or 5, and it'll fill up again, and it's just so random.
Yep.
So if you can run it through now with and restart with or replay without badges, you're going to get your desired starting position. Same for 7s. You get to the front normally when you finally get to a lobby you like and you're 1st. So same process. And again, like we've said, Boomer, I think it works for every skill. It's just getting the badges to where you want them, because I'd rather play with a badge coin driver. So I want him to have the badge. I want him to get ahead of the field, because there's nothing worse than what I call a dumb box driver who takes a left when the track's going right at the start. And then you're just like, where are you going?
Or doesn't throw his coins. It's so annoying.
And they just literally take the entire wrong turn.
Yeah.
As soon as you stick a badge on him, mate, he's as tight as hell. And then you're just like, yeah, I'm on you, mate. I'm on you. So I think it's a fantastic feature, providing, I think it'll work well. And early indications would suggest it's a really positive feature. And it might not necessarily reduce your time of hitting the run, but it'll reduce your time to get the lobby you want to start.
Matt, you made a great point about quality of life. And I was hoping you would chime in on this one, just as far as how that could improve things.
Yeah, I mean, firstly, it's really an amazing feature. I've been enjoying using it already in the game, and it really speeds up the whole starting the race. And I've been liking to finish races as much as possible. I really hate having to hit restart. I'm really anti that, and I think this is almost like killing that feature a little bit, not entirely. I'll still hit restart if, first couple of boxes you get hit by every red shell imaginable and you roll the worst items imaginable. But it's really, really good. So you can finish out races, collect XP, collect your coins and tokens, but then also still use that same lobby. So completely agree. Unfortunate timing with my auto clicker video, because now that's already outdated after 1 week.
It's okay, man. It happens.
But actually, in a way, everything in that video is still accurate, apart from you just have to change where you touch on the screen and how you finish things. So it's not a huge deal, but I am going to have to go up and update that iOS shortcut and all of that. So I haven't done that yet. So unfortunately, I can't actually use the auto clicker for the rest of this tour. But at the end of the day, it's going to speed things up a lot and make the game more fun. And I think that's what it's doing. I really like this where Nintendo, sometimes they give us a pipe with 15 Marios, but then sometimes they give us this, so they do care about the player base, but they also want to make money. So it's great. I'm real big on quality of life improvements. And this one we're going to look back on this one and we're going to be like, wow, that was amazing. In the same way, we'll probably look back at the King Mario pipe and go, I can't believe I pulled that thing.
I did not regret it.
and I 100% agree with Frenzy Fangirl. Like I'm more excited. I know that it's going to work with all the drivers, but definitely boomboxing. If you boombox, if you even know what that term means, like it's really difficult to get that lobby. So when you get it, and then you get like to the end of the race and you're like trying to get the high score and things like that, it's just I can't tell you how many times I've actually accidentally passed by accidentally hitting like the top of the iPhone that I have, and then like I'd go through the finish line because I wanted to, especially on Singapore tour too. I mean, you get that boombox and then people pass you. I got literally the world record of 2:08 at the time on that course, and I finished in 4th. And then it took me like 30 minutes to get another couple of coinbox drivers in. So definitely a huge thing there. And then the other thing too, getting back to the question, no, I will not. If it doesn't work for my account, I will not invest in boombox drivers. However, if I don't have a plus skill, like, it's all about resources and things like that, and what works for your account. So if it works for your account, like it's going to work for my wife's account. She just, not kidding. Week 2 free pipe pull, her 3rd one, she pulled, and this is week 2, she pulled Boom Ouija.
Wow.
Yeah, which is crazy. She went into the first pipe, got the other 2 things. And I was hoping she was going to get Vondom, because she's awesome and I don't have her. But she got Boom Ouija, who's just amazing. So I mean, it's going to be great for all the new players out there for sure. Not only the quality of life stuff, but really like getting into the game, getting into this like total different aspect of the game. It's gonna be a lot of fun for sure.
So I'm not a huge boomboxer either. Like it's not something I strive to go for. But like when Volendam came to the game, I had missed out on so many of the boomboxers, like Kangaroo Yoshi and Bernie and all the really cool ones, that I was like, I'm gonna get her. She's amazing. I'm gonna level her up. I'm not gonna miss out on boombox anymore. So now my account's in this thing where even though it's not something I seek out to do, every couple of weeks, like it's mandatory for me. Like I'll have Bull and Dom at level 6 and nothing else that can even compete with it. So
and she's been killer in rank too. Like,
yeah, she's been
killer.
amazing. So,
Yeah. She
then
would
I was
work
like-
on 5 courses for me. I wish I had her. I'm so jealous, actually.
yeah, so
I
there's
do
little
think
moments like that. It's not like I'm excited about boomboxing, but this is just going to make the journey so much more enjoyable. Or like, I don't know, like it also helps us discriminate more, which is great in certain cases.
Like discriminating more.
I hate
You didn't
playing
use
against.
words together. Go ahead.
I know, right? It's typically not PC to say, but I hate banana barrel and like cannon drivers and stuff. So like there's certain courses where they're heavy. And so you frequently will get them in your lobby. And I'm so excited to get to a point where it's like, if I don't have them in my lobby, like locking it in and just being like, yes, you know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like this Berlin track with Hiker Mario just blowing you up.
Yeah.
Hacker Mario.
Hiker Wario, yeah, he crushed
Oh.
he crushed so many of my runs. He got using more meant of Mario, but anyway, yeah, get him out and then just the hard part is like when you're like I gotta scrap this run. Do I reset? Am I gonna try again? What am I gonna do here? Because just like now, because like we're having to deal with this option for the first time. It is pretty tough here. Other people specifically on this try again. Anyone investing in boombox boomerang drivers more because of it?
I do want to make a point about
Oh.
boomerang
Yeah.
around like a strategy for investment. They get a lot of tracks. So compared to say coinbox, they tend to get quite a significant amount more coverage. So one thing is like leveling your drivers based on how fun they are. This is like my new strategy. So boomerang drivers, level 6, double cap. Coinbox drivers, level 7 or level 8 and triple cap or double. So that if you get that overlap, then you're always using the more fun skill. So simple way to do it, but it just makes the game more fun. So you can still have that coverage when they're the only option for boomerang, but if there's that overlap, then you've still got a reason to use the more fun option.
They seem to be releasing more of them recently as well. So when we're expecting a Lucky 7 to cycle after Chuck, I think it was the last one, you think, okay, you see the trailer, you think, okay, that's probably going to be 7. That's going to be 7. We're seeing box, boomerang, and they're skipping at the 7. So there is a little pattern going on there where they are releasing more boomerangs. Varies depending on what you have or how useful they are for you. The lobby feature of restarting or try again, excellent. But I think also with boomboxing, that's just the first part of the run, or before you start, is just getting the right setup. It's making sure you can get through the box in 5 all the time. Is that box driver far enough ahead of you? Some of the tracks are really narrow to begin with, so there's a bit more skill involved. To basically, you need to leave enough gap between him and you, or whichever driver is. You got to have the gap right, and that's the skillful part to how you can keep your combos, slow yourself down. To get to a position that you're going to get the full scoop, because there's nothing worse than you finally get the spit coming out of the box, you put your boomerang frenzy, they've got hit and you get like 10 coins and you've waited an hour for it. So I think there is a little bit of more skill involved in it, but I think there's no better feeling in the game personally when you scoop the entire box and then run for your life and just praying that a coin can get tagged onto it. But I would just say I do it simply because I have to. I actually hate doing it, but you have to do it, I think, because of the spots that I go for. But I'd rather not do it.
Yeah, so Jedi, you were making some great points, but Frenzy Fans was having a situation there. Are you guys all good?
I missed
worried.
it.
Sorry. There are these 3 flies that we haven't been able to get out of our house since we moved in, and we killed one.
Yeah,
Glad
got
you
one.
made it.
2 more to go. 2 more to go.
I know you guys were having some fly situation. You need to bring that fly zapper
fly
with
swatter.
you.
Zapper, yeah.
I know we left it in Washington.
You should have brought it with you. You should have known.
I'll buy you guys one. As a
It'll be
hey.
interesting when Red Pit Crew towed his Coinbox, because I don't know if anybody, I noticed this
Oh,
today.
No, Torchy.
Because-
No,
Don't say
Torchy.
that.
Torchy.
Because Red Pit Crew Toad is the
Torchy,
one who
no.
backs up the coin truck. In
Torch.
if you look at like when you get those coins for for pipe holes
you're
and
right.
stuff. It's Red Pit
The
Crew
Coin
that's
Rush,
actually
the Coin Rush truck, right?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
actually the one that's backing up the truck with all the coins in it.
Wow.
No
Ah.
Torchy, no
A
Torchy.
super,
No.
super driver with Coinbox.
Yeah,
No,
that's
Don't
coming
have
with,
one yet.
that's coming
Gotta
with
happen.
level 9.
Yeah, it's
Well,
coming.
you know what? It wouldn't surprise me at this point. They've basically completely burnt down their system. Any pattern they had, any type of like an advantage that they had, they basically burnt that to the ground. Well, hey, I do want to take a quick time out because I know Matt, you gotta jump. But I thought a lot of your points, a lot of your themes around making the game fun, bringing just focus on. And I mentioned this at the beginning of level 8. Is like take a step back, take a little break from the game, think about what brings you joy, and then take that going into level 8, into how you invest going forward. Because and you laid some great examples of like how you invest strategically based on that skill. So I couldn't have said it better. So phenomenal job there, Matt. Anything you want to say before you head out?
Yeah, just thanks for having me on, StudFAM, and it's been great just catching up with all you guys. There's lots of lovely faces that I know already, and a couple of new ones as well. So lovely to meet you guys. Thanks for following along with the content that I'm putting out there. It's all about fun and enjoying your account, and trying to invest in a way that makes things fun for you. So follow along, and make sure you subscribe to StudFit's channel. Of course, smash that sub button so that he can get those final 40 subs to hit the 2K. Is it 2K?
Okay.
A little
2K,
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, and sub to my channel. Help me get to 1,000 subs. I'm chasing Draco's tail right now, so I want to get back in the lead. So stay tuned. Sorry, camera cut out there. There'll be some merch on the horizon, so stay tuned for that.
Ooh, nice.
I can't wait. I will buy your first shirt, man. I'm pretty pumped about when it
We will
comes
be your
out.
biggest fans.
But thanks for joining us, Matt. Definitely subscribe to Matt. Check out the link in the description. But Matt, have a great rest of your Saturday because you're a day ahead of us. But for the future.
Thanks, StudFit. Thanks, guys.
Take care.
Catch you later.
Bye, mate.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, now we're a little bit more Brady Bunchable. This hopefully make things easier, but So I think kind of going back to our point earlier, just about the boomboxing, and I think Jedi, you made a really good point before. One of the flies, the 3 hot flies in the Fancy Fans home was killed. I think specifically, I was doing this LA Laps track, and honestly, many times where I had multiple coin boxes, but it wasn't until like there was that gap where I could consistently get 5 or 6 because you're like kind of wiggling through the city part of LA Laps, and it became I would hit slipstreams all the time.
Yeah, that's the
Having
worst.
a hard time getting in at the right spot. But the lobby I kept resetting out of was the one where there was a gap between number 5 and number 7, and I could just roll right through. I could kind of teeter between 5 and 6, but I could get in. I knew I wasn't going to get in 7. I knew I wasn't going to get in 4th. And I was just like, I was resetting this. That was joy to me.
And Tuxedo was like just far enough away where you could see the coins were coming out and you weren't hitting them too soon and stuff like that too. It was good.
Yeah. So you bring a good point. Like that part of like the lobby, I still think the reset is key, but yeah, being able to try again until you get to that point. Oh man, it's phenomenal.
It'll definitely take some of the pain out of it for sure.
Moving forward, just because we got so much to talk about. Raz Velo Millennial mentions with the addition of being able to use a quick ticket for the new Spotlight shop, we'd be more tempted to use a quick ticket for the daily selects or for the Spotlight shop going forward. So again, in this news we saw yesterday, and then obviously the battle mode video we got like 20 different new things going on. So it's like really hard to prioritize which one. Obviously the biggest one is quad cap, and I want to make sure we carve out a good 30-45 minutes to talk about that. But one of the unique things is this you can use a quick ticket for a Spotlight shop, which we don't really know what that means. And so we're all kind of speculating, but that's exactly what's perfect for Kart Talk is speculation, especially in the purest form, which is like what we're doing now. So the Spotlight shop, there's been a lot of discussion about what that could mean. Some, we obviously have like the shop, like the newer items, and there's Ruby prices that we're talking about too. There's also the spotlight shop. We don't know if it'll be like similar to our all cup, all clear pipe type of items, but how are you treating specifically, and I think this is what's important right now, is you have 4 or 5 days to use a quick ticket. Are you using it now, or do you think you're going to save it? Or if you save it, do you think you'll use it for the daily selects or this high-end shop that you use rubies for? I don't know. How are you guys treating the quick ticket now in these last couple of days?
So can I mean, do we expect the spotlight pipe to have all of the items that are in the pipes right now as an option? So is there going to be like a driver, a cart, a glider, and then like you can reset that, and then it's going to be those items? Is that what we're looking at? Or will there be multiple drivers, carts, and gliders in the spotlight?
Nobody knows. Yeah,
I know. Yeah, that's what's tough.
We don't know.
I mean, because this is what I'm torn on it,
we don't
because it's
know.
like it's really tough for me. I'm just about to get my commons maxed out for gliders. So like, and we know how valuable those high-end tickets are. So like, to be able to reset and get something, especially on like the last day and someone pulled ahead of you that was, you know, slow playing and stuff like that. I mean, that I just can't see myself. I mean, I don't know. I guess we're gonna find out. Like, if it's gonna be all those items, and it's so. I mean, what is there, like 70 carts in there, and you need like a specific cart to pop up, or get a high-end ticket. You know, it's tough for sure.
Yeah.
Where Bobcat is right now is exactly why I'm worried about like if StudFit's going to have a rundown 2 next week, because
I mean, Antelope and I already talked about it. We are going to block out like 3 hours. There's going to be a lot to process. The good thing is that like all of this stuff, like especially like this stuff that we're talking about here, and like the cap quad ticket and stuff, all this is like strategy driven, which is like what my channel is about. Like there's like, I think the general community, and I think one of the surprises is that I'm only at 2,000 subscribers. I think I was expecting to be like at 3,000, 4,000 by now. Not a big deal, but it reminds me that not everyone's like thinking in strategy. Strategy is not like necessarily everyone's thing. It is niche. It is like we're like a very subpopulation of a subpopulation. So like I think my channel is always going to be relatively niche. It's not going to be for the masses, because not everyone cares so much about the strategy. But what I think is really important is that like all of these changes makes the strategy so much more important. I think that the people who really care about strategy will actually be more devoted to the channel than I think other channels, because they're gonna say, hey, I have this one quad ticket, or I have like this spotlight shop. I need to know this information because I absolutely have to go in with the best knowledge to be able to make my best decision. And for that reason, I love the little niche that we've built out. I'm really, really excited for it. But yeah, that also gives us more opportunity to either jump into more topics or to be able to cover something unique. The rundown really is just we don't talk a lot about some of the fluffy stuff. We talk about like, how do I strategically make decisions? And this could open this up. You're right. This could open us up to brand new topics we discussed on the rundown. So I expect the format of the rundown to change a little bit. And Antelope and I are already ready to block off that time, because ultimately we're a channel of the people. So if you think that there's something that you want to know, please let us know now, or let us know on Wednesday. And we definitely would love to adapt. So good call out there. Appreciate that, Torch.
I think to even add to that, another layer is, and I know Frenzy Fans has the Meet the Mario Karters, and they've actually brought on like people to talk about data mining before. And I think that's going to be like a second wave to the strategy that a lot of people aren't maybe bringing up like right now. Like we are going to be flooded with information like right off the rip. We're going to be seeing what the spotlight shop does, how to use quick tickets, how to do different things. But I think there's that second layer of that second wave of information that always comes out a little bit after, is the data mining. Like, oh, now it's kind of like what we're dealing with right now. I remember when level 8 hit and the update hit to the shop hit, everyone was like, oh, everything's going to just happen like it happened before. But then the data miners came out with, oh, this is a new wave of information, and this is this is how the shop works now. So you actually have to change your philosophy, what you originally thought it was. So we are going to be hit by this huge overload of information day one of this is how things are going to happen. But patience is really going to be key, because there's going to be a second wave of information that hits like as soon as data miners start uncovering things and you actually run through things a couple of times. People use quick tickets a few times and are like, oh, this is how it actually works versus kind of how we're initially thinking. So it's going to like come to us in bits and pieces, and it's not going to be understanding everything day one. As much as people try to like, this is exactly what it's not exactly what there's going to be more information that comes out. And I think that's kind of the beauty of what's happening too. Mario keeps us talking. There's always some new little wrinkle to what's going on that makes someone want to tweet, message in Discord, make a video, something else. It's never just a straight line.
Yeah,
definitely a lot to take in for day one. I think you're just gonna have to let it marinate a little bit, let it just simmer there, let it settle in and embed, and then decide. I think the worst thing you could do is start just bunking off tickets and going into this, going into that, I'll buy this, buy that. But I think sometimes we forget, because we all have a similar take on the game, regardless of what level we play at, is people play for fun. You've got your fetish players, you've got your people just focus on a rank and say, oh, that person's there, I'll do that. I think we forget that there's such a huge amount of people out there who do not think the way we think and the way we approach the game. And sometimes you just got to respect that. Like, when you see a level 1 triple cap, I'm like, oh, well done, mate. So, it's just one of those things that you just tend to forget, because we're in our little bubble of strategy, coverage. What does that do? What does this do? What does this mean? Whereas somebody will say, oh, that's a nice update, I'll check it out later. So it's just we're a little bit more invested in our love for the game and how we approach it. And it's exciting for sure. But I mean, I'm going to go out on a limb here, but I generally think when these updates land, it's not really, there's going to be some nice little benefits, little bits, little crumbs. We get the crumbs off the table, whereas the whole purpose of it is to keep us invested, keep our time invested, keep our money invested, and to prolong the game. And that's going to come through strategy. That's going to come through, the costing of the rubies, how you go about it. There's going to be a lot of that. When you see S+9, I'm just like, okay, why? All I've done is turn the 6 upside down. I don't get anything for it. Then you've got level 99. They seem to have a common, they love their 9s for some reason. And that's probably the next thing that will land eventually in time. But obviously you've got best part of 20 weeks for anyone who's on 80 anyway. You got a year in there before they start to think, okay, how are we going to move on from here? So it's really going to prolong the longevity. And then the biggest question, obviously, we're going to come on to for me, what do caps mean? That's probably one of the biggest things, I think, for any invested player in the game, of how we're going to use them and where are they possibly applicable and possibly not. Exciting, yes, definitely, but it's going to prolong the game. But there's a lot of chores out there. I'm not having I just want to get it all out here. Like, you talked about your XP, you talked about how many levels you've done. I just think sometimes there's just so many chores out there to do which aren't particularly fun, and we sort of put that pressure on ourselves, depending on how you are, of trying to, I'm one of those, I want everything done to the maximum possible wherever I can. I want my level up, I want to grind, get my best scores, I want to do it all. But then when you see there's pipe rewards potentially coming also for this battle mode, and then that's going to take me more time, because you want to take advantage of every free piece of inventory or anything that you can get from the game wherever possible. But I think we put that expectation on ourselves a little bit, and then some parts are fun and some parts ain't. But yeah, it's very time consuming if you want everything, and it's just calibrating on that scale how much time you're willing to invest and what you're happy to take and what you're not. So you can let player level go, because it's not as important to some people. It definitely isn't to me, but it's like, yeah, I need it done.
Yeah, I mean, there's the grindableness of this game has become a little too much
Yeah.
lately. I'm with you there, and so yeah, and again, that's kind of going back to everyone finds joy in this game differently, and a lot of people don't care about the strategy. They'll just, like you said, just kind of just glimpse, oh, there's an update in that game that I play every once in a while, and that's those people might log in to watch some of the other content creators. They might not be watching me, which is perfectly fine. But you know me, I'm going to overthink things. That's what we do here at the StudFit channel. With that being said, I don't think there's any more topic that was overthought more than the cap tickets. So I want to jump there. We can always go back if somehow we have more time, but I think the cap tickets, I really want to carve out as much time as we can for this, because all out of the whole update, right? So there's like, oh, cool, I can keep like a record of what I did. Oh, cool, like there's tier 99, and that's actually kind of interesting. But like level 400, like no one's at 400 now. Like there's a lot of things that don't really matter, but the quad tickets, being able to cap something a fourth time is a game changer. And I think there's no more channel that impacts more than this one. And when it comes to, and Frenzy fans too, just like, and how do you strategically position your account to thrive? And a lot of it comes down to coverage. And, so there's a lot of great questions around this. So I really just want to jump to that. First of all, before we got any further into the capping, how many cap tickets do you think it'll take to quad cap something? It'll be, I think so. We've heard, 15 as kind of a super optimistic number. I think that was one that I heard a couple tossed around a little bit today. I heard Rashid talk about 16 and some kind of Pythagorean theorem or something like that, where it's
1,
it's like
5, 10.
1, 5, 1. I think it was like +1 plus. So it's whatever number was added last time +1. Whatever was added last time +2, whatever was added last time +3. And that's how their pattern has been. So his guess is 16, super aligned with the StudFit channel. And then I think like Antelope doesn't think it'll be anything less than 20. He said it could be even more than 20. So what are your thoughts, guys? What do you think it'll take to quad crap something?
Going to be high. It's not going to be low. Well, expect the worst and pray for the best, because nobody expected 40 level up tickets for a common item. Nobody expected 8 to go to 16 for a super item just to level them up. And again, it was done to slow the game down, so it takes you longer to get through that achievement. I think that's going to happen with the caps as well, because there's no advantage of them keeping it low, because I just feel with the pattern that they've done and the way they've continuously stretch the game out and prolong it, it's going to be high. I think there's either or. It's going to be 20 to 30. I personally feel. I mean, 30 sounds ridiculous, but so did some of the other ticket jumps we experienced at level 8. But I think 20 is your minimum, but they could function in different ways. This question, we could be here all night, or I could be here all the way through to Sunday. But I think. If you consider what if the cap ticket was applied like a Mii, that you can use 1 per 10 on each item, and then you have a limit of how many 10s you can add per item. It'll just blow the game wide open of where you put an item, how much you want to put in. And then my biggest question, can you cap a Mii? That's what I want to know, because that will dictate what I do going forward at the end of the day. I personally would love to be able to cap the Miis so they keep that seniority amongst they flooded the game with them, and I thought they would stop at 1700. That's a no-no. So they could possibly say they can't be capped. However, here's 20 more Mii Suits for you to buy. So they keep their edge. You can't cap them further. You get your 1400s up, but they keep that little gap and they keep their revenue coming in. So there's a lot to hope for, but I would say expect the worst.
Anyone got a more bleaker perspective?
I'm looking forward to it. Don't get me wrong. I love stratting.
Can we get an unpopular theory?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't done those for a while. An unpopular theory from Frenzy Fanboy.
Hashtag Frenzy Fanboy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the app itself, it says when it talks about base point caps being increased. It says note, a points cap ticket, singular, is required to further enhance base points from the previous base point cap. So just like the last part of what Jedi Knight was saying, I think it's going to take 16 to triple uncap something. And then from that point forward, you exchange an uncapped ticket for, I mean, it's kind of, it's the same thing as like with the Mii Suits. Every time that you get a Mii Suit, everything goes up 10 points. So the Mii Suits are still going to kind of have this like edge a little bit, because for one Mii Suit, all of your Mii characters go up 10 points. For a non-Mii Suit, one ticket will allow you to be able to get that one item up another 10 points. And so, and then they would, you know, maybe cap it off at like 20. So you could have it go up 200 points. But you're not required to get the 20 tickets in order to be able to benefit from the increase in points cap tickets. If you have 15 or 16 or 17, you can still get 150, 160, 170 more base points. You're not screwed because you have no way of getting those last 3 for like the tour that you're wanting to do ACR on or whatever.
Yeah.
And so, I mean,
That's what we're crossing our fingers for.
yeah.
I think it will allow up to 21 will be the minimum. If it goes in increments of 10, or even if it's an outright 20 for a quad, whichever way it is, the minimum points added is going to be 210. But that could range anything between that and I don't know, it could be 250, it could be 300, it could be 290. Just depends on how they want to round it out. But that your minimum will be 1610 because they've gone, it goes 180, 210, 210. So it's not going to dip from that. So you're going to be able to apply at least 21 tickets if it's in 10s, or at least 20 tickets to get that 210. Or worst case scenario, it could be a little bit higher. So we just don't know. And if it does go for a single 10, then, you know, like you say, you can pick and choose, and that's not a bad thing at all, to be honest with you. Like you say, for your ranked and you're not short a ticket, you know, it gives you a bit more flexibility as well across the inventory of what you want to go in on. But at the same time, if it's the fixed amount, then, you know, it's going to be challenging. But I can see them getting quite high on the points, at least the 1610, 1650 even possibly, and which makes me think, well, if the current Mii Suits are coming up to 1700 for all of them as you collect each suit, and this is coming up to the 1650-ish area, just as a rough guess, then, you know, that the edge it's got is just not what it was. So how do you get people to invest into Miis going forward outside of the two box ones? So that I think will raise this whole issue of, like, they're not going to stop the suits to keep that gap between the two, so they can keep their revenue coming in as well as keep the distinguished suits out there and keeping their edge, like you say. Yeah, time will tell. 4 days.
Yeah, you know what? The way that you read that, Frenzy fans, I don't know. It's really interesting that the way that the verbiage. I hadn't really read it like that. I've even heard some people say, like, what if there is like this, you know, golden ticket or one ticket that, like, you know, takes it to this quad ticket that's kind of, you know, a separate resource that, like, you know, kind of takes it above that. And, you know, there's still, you know, debates on what all that could look like. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be really interesting. There's a lot of speculation. I think the one thing I've seen, regardless of all that speculation, are 2 camps, right? Kind of have this camp that Miis cannot be capped, quad capped, and Miis can be quad capped. And this is really, I think, one of the biggest divides, in not necessarily like dividing the community, but like there are 2 solid camps. You either believe it or you don't, or just you don't care, you're just gonna wait and see. But like there's like this, some people who didn't invest in Miis that believe Nintendo will save the meta, and it'll be like this you know, charging horse that's gonna take all the non-Miis and bring them into victory. And it's going to be, and they're going to be geniuses because they never invested in Miis. And then you kind of have all these other, mostly whales, who, you know, invest in all these Miis. And like, what really, Nintendo, you basically shoved these down our throats, said we need to invest in these, and then you're just gonna just like, you know, make these guys look like geniuses. What's going on here? So there's like literally this like very weird dynamic. I'm curious who believes that Miis will be able to be capped?
Okay, so I wrote in my notes, it's 90% going to be 20, and Miis can't be quad capped. Like that's what I wrote in my notes. So I'm not. Listen, I'm totally on the Mii side. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm not saying it's a good thing. But I think that that's the way they're going to bring it back together. But I mean, if you still think about it, like the investment of 20 tickets to quad cap something compared to you paying 70 rubies if you got them right when they came out is going to be much better for you, you know, in the long term. But I do like the idea if it is going to be a singular ticket, the golden ticket, and I think you should wear a Willy Wonka hat if that's the case. So. That's it.
So who thinks? Let me just get a raise of hand. Who thinks that the Miis can be capped? Raise your hand. Okay. I can't.
I think
I don't
it's
know.
more of a wish than a thought. I wish they can be, but yeah, I think they will cap them.
Wait, did you say can't or can?
I said the word can without the T.
Oh, my bad. All right.
Yeah. And hero, you might think that they can't as well. What's your thought process?
I don't know. I think my heart is saying Miis will not be quad cap, only because look.
But your body.
Yeah, I know. I mean, look, I do like the Miis, but there comes at a certain time where there has to be a limit. If they're going to continue doing this base points, if they're going to keep on giving us Miis, eventually they're going to have to do something to balance it with the Miis and with your regular drivers. I'm pretty sure not everyone likes the Miis. You know, it's really bad, especially with their voices and stuff. But, you know, everyone wants to use their favorite characters, such as, you know, Peach Vacation, PGP, Meowser, all that kind of stuff. So I hope, again, we'll see what happens on Wednesday, but I hope that they'll give us a little slight news like, hey, Miis will not be quad cap. That way, okay, you can balance out your regular coinbox drivers with the Miis. You know, I just hope that'll happen. But again, it's Nintendo. You might never know. You have to think outside of the box with these people. So
yeah, there's a little bit of blood in the water. I can kind of tell Nintendo's feeling a little squirrely and feel like they actually have to do some major changes to this game for whatever reason. I don't know if revenue's down just a tad bit. We heard on I think Kevin Garrett mentioned something on some website he found that said revenue was down about 30%. So you know, maybe they're getting a little desperate. But I think one of the things that I keep getting drawn back to is like the people like Kareem that are buying every Mii, like investing in the Miis. Those are the whales. Those are the people that are keeping the game going. I don't know if they can ostracize them. I don't think that they can, you know, make them feel like they are idiots. And so I keep coming back to that thought. That just seems to be like the North Pole and like where I'm setting my prediction. But yeah, you're right. Nintendo can do anything. I think the way that Nintendo handles it is just completely something off the wall, out of left field. Not mention anything and just say, oh, by the way, here's this, you know, call it golden ticket, call it blue ticket, call it, you know, rainbow ticket. It doesn't matter what it's called, but like, here's this magical thing that now, oh, look over here. And we're just like, you know, oh, squirrel, you know, it's just like, we're like, oh yeah, I totally forgot about that, you know, and oh yeah, all right, we'll keep playing this game, you know, that's just like the mind game that they have us rolling into. The last question we have about caps, unless someone wants to ask anything about it, but in a situation where you do have 20 tickets that takes something to quad ticket, this is from Raker 85. Would you rather quad one driver cart or glider or triple cap two? And I think really like there's a second question to this is like, I'm trying to remember if anyone asked it. I was looking through, I didn't see it on here, but like, if in a world where let's say you could triple and cap or quad and cap any item, how would you strategize your account differently, knowing that information? So like, are there a couple items that would pop to mind? Like this would be like what I would quad first, or would you just keep saving and then maybe, you know, quad two different items that had separate overlap? Or, you know, how would your perspective of the game on the game change knowing that there are quad cats coming?
So I would say the first thing for me is definitely I think it brings because I was wondering how they were going to bring commons and supers kind of back in the game a little bit. So that's 100% what I'm going to invest in. I plan on bringing the star or the question mark glider for sure up to the quad cap immediately because it does actually help my account. Um, and I was looking at like Baby Luigi as well. Maybe Luigi's Mansion's coming back and things like that, and he could be a player as well. So I mean, if it, what will it take him up to? Probably about 850 or so. But I mean, that would be, I mean, that would be very helpful for my account. So I definitely see it helping in the lower levels at first. For me, I'm not a whale, so like I'm more like a piranha. I see some meat, I'll grab it. But yeah, I mean, I see it helping more on those lower levels and bringing some of those characters that are beloved back in the game, Larry 98, like things like that. You know what I'm saying? So,
Larry.
for a lot of people out there that are kind of bummed out by these great characters that are kind of, just look at them, they're common, they get a boost. So that's good.
And by the way, I think a lot of our attention has been on drivers, but think about like carts and gliders. Like it's not something we're thinking about all the time, but like, could be maybe the hop rod there for Frenzy Fans Gal, or like,
Yeah.
would you jump to that level, or would you just kind of hold back and just say, hey, you know what, I'm still working on my account, still trying to double uncap things, triple uncap things. I'm let the quad cap stuff go to the whales.
What about let's quad cap the off-roaders, man? How about that? The
Well,
heavy.
I mean,
Strategy.
what would that take a super to maybe 500? Is that about right? Because it's 366, 408, and then 450. It'd be like 505, maybe 510, and that would be just above the single cap for most of the the gliders and carts. So I mean, it's gonna change the game up a little bit. Plus, a lot of people have them at level 8s, 7 and 8s, where they only have some of the gliders at maybe 5. So could be a big deal, big game changer, big content for StudFit. So
Well, even when they brought the 8s out, that's when you probably found, or I found, that I was starting to use some of the supers I did, particularly gliders, because a level 8 450, where I've got still a fair few 7 singles hanging around, so they do still, even I still use them now.
Awesome.
Because there just isn't a solution for the tracks that they hold. So you'd have to go into like 3 or 4 irons for those tracks, whereas the super's fitting quite nicely. I don't have a problem with that at all. So I think they will get some use, definitely. But if you were looking at your high end and your best stuff, what do you quad first? I think it's tricky to say until you fully understand the how many you're going to need. I mean, how long would it take you to replenish that stash? So if a new, I mean, there could be I hate to say, I know it's been mentioned, and this is all Godmode's fault, so if it happens, blame him. That there could be an upcoming coinbox Mii Suit again. I mean, it's been a while, and they're flooding us with the game, and he said the next one's gonna be one. So we've got triple shells, and then you got a little silhouette of the next one. So there could be another one coming. But what I'm trying to get at here is, you're talking about quads and all this. I think sometimes, what are you going to hold in reserve to work with? Anything surplus to that you want to keep, because like if a new box driver came, and the way I always approach any new item, and the game is a big part of it now, especially when you're making top 10 pushes, is new items. What are they doing? And I've stumbled across some beauties straight away. So I have a little figure that I work off. Anything 6 to 8 off the bat, you can get the max straight away. I'll max you if you give me 6 to 8, because I know you're going to get to 12, 14 tracks or something like that. Anything 4 to 6, I won't take you beyond 7 doubles, because I'm not sure how you're going to work out for me. Anything less than that can just stay as part of the collection and gather dust. But I think it's always good to have something in reserve and then push in, unless you're going for like a placement suit and you might put a few more tickets in, thinking, look, I'm really, my loaders are really bad next week. I might need to push in this week, and I've got a bit of tough competition. And I think it's best to keep it in reserve. And I personally think 2 triples will probably be better, because there's a lot of triples I don't have. There's a lot of doubles I might not have, or even if you're at a different stage in the game, you're still working your way through the old way, and they've already set you up for a new way of doing things, where even for me, to be honest, I'm not ready for that. I'm probably going to still continue to triple than to quadruple. But if the math is right and the coverage is there, but how often will those tracks feature per tour, and what's your actual return on investment for value? Not just the overall coverage, frequency of its occurrence. You can go into something that gives you 20 odd tracks, but if those tracks ain't coming back, what do you do? So that's why the new tracks, they cycle so quickly. You probably see Coco more I was seeing it in my dreams at one point where I was at every tour, Coco. I was like, just give it a rest, get rid of it. And stuff like that. So I think they also will they've deliberately did this. So your rock mountains, your DK mountains, those ones, some excellent courses. Loved it. I think I played it once with Meowser since he got the track. So, and that's his only appearance. It is a new track game, and the reason the new tracks cycle a lot and the items for those tracks cycle a lot is inducing spend. Put it in the pipes, put it in the packs, put it in the Mii in the shops now as well. Get people, and they cycle them over and over again to lure you into that. So when you look at old track value, it's almost gone. So that's just my take on some of the cycling of how they deliberately keep putting these newish sort of medium new tracks back in the game to get you covering, getting you spending, getting you putting that resource in. And to be honest, some of them are great fun, and I love seeing them again. You put me Bowser Castle 3 every tour, I'm a happy man. I love that track so much. I loved it from the first introduction. And when I saw it, the only thing I was disappointed is I was like, the track was white, not brown.
Yeah,
just a little bit of stuff there, but just it's such a fun track. So there's two sides of it. You're gonna love some, you're not gonna love the others. But the new ones cycle a lot. So when you think of investment, some of your most powerful stuff possibly isn't new. So it might not be the right thing to go into because the tracks don't cycle around that much. But if you go into a new item, like, say if you put a new one to the top, we're talking 20, who's got 36 caps to spare to move a new item to the top? Because if you've got 36, I mean, that's an awful lot of amount. And even if, I try to play with 16 reserved, in case I want to move on something, and even that's tight. So I think it's really going to stretch the game out a lot. It's going to take a long time, and you're talking such a small percentage who can just rip through it. But for the rest of us, I think stratting, I'd still recommend working through your doubles if that's where you're at, moving singles to doubles, moving doubles to triples. I think that's the right way to approach. I think quad cap, combined with other quad caps, yes, you're going to get a ridiculous score, and my world record get broken shortly, which I'm sad about, which I just hit on Bowser Castle RT. So it's the highest score in the game. And then I saw this, I was like, okay, well, it lasted a couple of weeks. But yeah, there's going to be 70K will be the new 60 before you know it.
Yeah. What about Frenzy fans, Gal and Gal? I mean, how are you thinking about these cap tickets? Are there's some items that you feel like you'll look at, or do you kind of hold back and just say, you know what, that's a different game than I'm playing?
I think I approach it very similarly to how I approach level 8, where I typically will look at like, what is the goal I'm trying to accomplish, whether it's like in that tour or that month, and then I work my way back, right? So there are some times where in ranked for me, or if I want to go for a higher ACR score, which I'm not an ACR player by any stretch of the imagination, that if all of a sudden there's one driver or one glider cart that gets me a lot of bang for my buck, I'll go all in on it, because you just get huge returns on that one. So I don't really anticipate being like, oh my gosh, like I love the Dark Hop Rod, I love Gegshi, Gold Yoshi. But I don't anticipate just being like, okay, I'm gonna unload on those and hope that it pays off. I'll wait to see how it affects me in ranked and ACR and make investments accordingly. How about you?
Yeah, it's gonna be, we're just gonna have to see what the mechanic actually is. I mean, whether you have to spend a bunch of tickets or you can slowly increment up your base points based on a ticket. Depends on ACR, depends on ranked, depends on so much. There's 400 variables, so I can't say.
But for all the casual players out there who are casual / not well players, like my advice to you guys would be, don't go all in on anything yet. Like wait, like if it does help your ranked, like all of a sudden, like every now and then something will pop up and you use it like 4 or 5 times over the 2-week period. And that's awesome. Like if that is like the difference between getting first and not getting first, like go for it. But unless you're in a situation like that, just wait a couple weeks and see how this all plays out. Like hold your reserves, stock up, keep doing what you are doing. But I don't think, going back to the original question, I think if you're like looking at like score potential, you'll probably get a lot more bang for your buck taking 2 drivers to level or like triple capping versus 1 to like quad capping. So but it all depends on your account and what's going on.
And what you're trying to do. If
Yeah.
you're doing ACR and this one driver is featured 14 times,
Totally.
then go in on it. Or if you're doing ranked and there's 2 different drivers that will give you thousands more points in ranked, then go with it. Like there's so many variables.
That's a great point. Yeah.
But you have to, Frenzy Fans guy, you have to have a couple Bowser items that you got your eye on potentially.
Oh
man, I can't wait to quadruple uncap Dr. Bowser at level 3.5.
Well, I was thinking the first one you were gonna do is the snow crystals, is what I thought.
Right.
No, actually, this black star shoe is just so delicious.
Oh man, I got it at a 5.95. I wish it was higher.
Either that or the wonderful wings. Like
I'm
let's
doing
just
sorry,
go
great
all
sale.
in on these just amazing items.
But if I can give an example of like my account, I have the blue flower glider at a 366 and a level 8, and I've actually been looking at like, should I take that up because it actually matches with the snow crystals, which I know Frenzy Fanboy loves. And I've got that at a 5,490 right now, and I'm like, well, now if I take it to a level 8 and quad cap it, and if it is 510, I mean, it's going to do some major damage on some of the courses that snow crystals have. So I mean, it's going to be able to open up some of the other ones for the black star shoot, which I have at a 5.595 right now. Maybe I can take that to a 7,700, so it really is. It's just going to matter varying on your account and what you kind of already have. I actually am really more excited for all the new players coming in, because they're going to have such a better opportunity to kind of like see all these things that everyone's created and kind of like just piece and parcel kind of, these things and make their account really awesome without having to spend nearly as much money and time that we did. So
I was just thinking to myself, like, if I didn't have my account right now, like because what Matt Aldridge was talking about earlier, having a second account, I tried it, I did it for a little bit, I couldn't keep it, I just can't do it. But I was thinking, like, if I had like an account that was my main account, not what I currently have, like, this would be such a cool experience, like coming into this game with all of these resources, like the spreadsheets, the rundown, all of the things that we have now. Like, if a person coming into the game just knew about all of these things to kind of manicure their account as they're going through and find those little ways to add resources or whatever like that, that would be such a game changer. Because I think it was like one of the first times I started dipping into like ACR and talking to Frenzy Fans a little bit more frequently. Like, I was looking at how dumb it was, some of the investments I made. Like, I have a level 4 595 Dreamy Egg. It's just sitting on my account because I remember, like, it was really early on, and it was the New Year's tour, and I was like, oh, this is so cool, and I've used it a couple of times. I was like, I'll just spend a couple of tickets. What do I care about tickets? And when they were on my account, and I never had more than like 2 or 3 at a time, and then like I would just keep throwing stuff, and I never really accumulated anything. It would be so different, like, if someone coming into the game, like, not saying throw everything at them at once, but just like had like a guru or a Sherpa that kind of followed them through and gave them some tips here and there on how to do things.
That should be a question. What's the dumbest like investment you've made since you
Oh
started?
God.
Hey, maybe it's a good icebreaker for the next episode.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. Definitely spend a ticket on a Hanafuda.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I mean, I think in general there are a lot of variables. There's a lot of things that will happen next tour. But I even think, like, if I were to think about like myself and my account, like last year, I remember it was probably about a year and a half ago. Yeah, I thought like the best when the cap tickets originally came out to the triple uncap something. At the time, you know, the most valuable kart and glider for me was like the black dozer and the silver star shoot. And like now I never use them. So like whatever we could use it today or immediately right out the gate probably won't help us in a year. Like that's just how like the game works. So it always is going to help you to save, and it always is going to help you to invest in kind of a newerish item. You know, I think for the way that my game is like for one day going for that the elusive top 10. But you know, I've basically saved all my cap tickets really since I went for I think I finished number 11. And I think it was the Daisy Tour or whatever with Daisy Cruiser when that came out and stuff. And I only have like 20 something cap tickets for drivers and stuff. So to think like to drop all of what I've saved for like a month and a half, 2 months seems like a lot to invest in something. So I'm still a little hesitant. It'll be interesting to see how it all turns out. But the other big drop that we had was around tiers, right? So we got this news that first of all, it's we're not just going up to tier 90, but there'll be a tier 99. So Big Rolo asked, you know, with tier increase from 80 to 99, and we'll just discuss mainly just like what's the impact of tier 99 involved in the game, but will the rewards change, especially with the expectation of 20 cap tickets needed for a quad cap? So will we see different rewards for ranked or for other things, knowing that we'll be going from tier 80 to tier 99?
They better. I mean, come on now.
It's overdue.
Give us more rubies, give us more points cap tickets now that we'll be able to quad cap.
Yeah.
So I mean, they have to at this case.
Well, I'm wondering if they're going to increase it for the people that are coming up as well. Like if it's going to change at 50 to 60, 60 to 70 than what we got as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I've always said from day one, I don't understand this 40 business. Give a person 5 more rubies, let them pull a 10 pipe. You know, it costs them nothing. It's such a small thing. You win your rank, oh, I can do a temple, just assuming you had none, you know, little things like that. It doesn't really cost anything at all from their perspective. And I think it's a nice figure to work to, but I would love to see those to go up definitely for the top 3 placements, whichever way they do it. And even like you say, on the lower down tiers, I think, to be honest, I expected it on the previous jump when it went from whatever it was, 60 to 80 or whatever that was. I was expecting it then. So if they've skipped that out and they've prolonged it now, we can be hopeful. They may not, but I think it's overdue, and it'd be good to give something back to the players who, you know, invest a lot of time and money in the game. It's not going to set our world alight, but it's a nice little token. Just, you know, we'd appreciate it more, and you're going to play more for it as well. Working your way to 99, you know, that's 20 weeks of grind, you know. So you'd like to get a little bit more with all this content coming in the game. And I think one of the biggest questions, I don't think we've really covered it yet. I'm not sure if it's relevant to the tiers as such, but it can be to a point whereby, where do coins come from going forward? Or where are they going to come from? So, you know, it'd be great to get a few more. And I think even if they do give you a few more ways of getting coins, and it's going to be bits and bobs compared to what you possibly need for what's available in your shops and things like that. So I think that's one of the biggest questions is we don't know where they're going to come from now going forward. And I think rank would be a good place to start. Just pump a few more in there for us to go after, just alleviate some of the pressure, because we're already going to be buying packs or rubies, whatever, to buy the items that we want. But, you know, your daily selects, if there are still daily selects, I mean, I'm assuming there will be, who knows? Because if there's no coins, what's the point of having daily selects?
I hope I don't want to take Frenzy Fans term, but I have kind of an unpopular opinion that I actually already brought up to him when he was grinding while Frenzy Fangirl was away. But my thought is you asked where coins are going to come from, so this could be part of it too. But with the tier ranks going up as well, what if they canceled? So they're asking people to cancel Gold Pass right now. And my thought is that what if they're doing that to raise the price of Gold Pass to put in more items, but also then maybe, and this goes into the tier part, add a platinum driver and as well as a platinum option for the pass. So a platinum pass and a gold pass. And the reason why I say that is because they have to get their revenue somewhere. I can't see people going, oh, I'm going to go and grab all these packs so I can buy the spotlight drivers. So it's like, how are they going to increase the revenue? So that was my thought, is like maybe 99 will be the platinum driver. And I have no, don't ask me the item. I have no idea what it would be.
You're saying like a platinum Mii suit?
Yeah, like a platinum Mii suit. Yep. Yep. So something like that. And then with them trying to change the gold pass, I mean, I think everyone that's at $4.99 will stay at $4.99. But all of us are at $4.99. If they go, hey, we have a platinum pass that gives you like 20 times more, stuff, coins and things like that. Most of us are going to pay $19.99 to support the game.
Wow.
So,
I would be down for that.
You could break the game with a platinum Mii suit only spits out red coins.
that would actually be pretty cool.
Or blue coins.
Crazy.
Or the first driver that you can, change their skill to something.
Or maybe blue coins. Let's go.
All right, we need to bring this back to some sort of summer reality that we have.
Well, that's what I was saying as far as the tiers.
No, I think offering a separate.
I think maybe a platinum driver or something like that. There's got to be a reward at the end of this tunnel, like a tier 4 card.
No, I think there will be some kind of carrot, and I think that they'll probably reveal it pretty early. But you also bring up a good point of having, instead of just a gold pass, have a premium plus pass, whatever you want to call that. Kind of two topics smashed into one.
I'm also really excited to get a buffer from Studfit and Carlos 85 and all these other 80 drivers. So I'm excited. I'm not there yet, and you guys can go on and I'll catch up.
It just seemed like that'll be the good piece, is that it will open things up to hopefully more players getting access to the gold Mii suit and getting to tier 80 in general. I think that part is positive. We'll see what happens there. Honestly, we could talk for another 2 or 3 hours about all these crazy changes. Ultimately, we will have to just wait and kind of see till Wednesday. We didn't even get to any of the battle mode questions, because we even have a battle tour coming up and a lot of unique stuff going on. Balloons, and honestly, that's just even more speculation. And as you can see just from that conversation, how quickly it turned into blue coins and other stuff. There's too much speculation we can do. So we're gonna start wrapping things up here. We've already surpassed 2 hours together. I can't believe it's already been.
Oh, that was quick.
Yeah, it's been quick. I know.
That was quick.
Coming from you, being out there. Out to East, but why don't we start with you, Jedi? So one of the, if you feel comfortable with that, one of the things that we do here is you provide one piece of advice for a new player, just to help them, coming from a player. Think about like how we talked about, like someone coming in, so many resources, so many channels, so many things going on, and you're just like literally so new that you're looking at everything saying this is a little intimidating. What piece of advice would you have to a newer player? And if you can specifically hone it into like the new update and going into next tour, what recommendation would you be? And Jedi, if you, since this is your first time on here, if you want to defer that, that's fine too. But what piece of advice would you have for a new player?
I'd go back to thinking of how did I find it when I first started the game and what were my challenges. So I'm going to try and base my advice around that. I think in terms of there's so many tools out there, it can be a bit overwhelming, investing in this, investing in that. I think just be careful where you put your tickets is one element of it, but you're not going to be getting too many as a new player. I'd go back to the most fundamental thing is practicing the tracks and how to keep your combos. Because if you can't do that, all of this other stuff is just a bit of background noise. And I'll always think back to a Toad circuit with Diddy Kong where I missed that 1 star, which is the only star I missed in the game. I could not get it. I could not keep the combo. I couldn't get around it. I kept getting smashed. And I'd always think of that 1 star with Diddy Kong I could not get in the game. I would say focus on the controllables, because there's a lot of stuff in the game that isn't controllable. Focus on your own game. Focus on what is controllable, your lines, and keeping your combos. Because ultimately, it took me 3 weeks. Oh, God. There we are, sorry. It took me 3 weeks to be able to just stay on the track. And I mean just basic left and right turns. So if you're brand new, I'd focus on your gameplay and gameplay ability, work on your lines, work on your combos.
Solid advice. Torch, we'll let you join in and give your piece of advice to a newer player.
Yeah, new player, old player, I think everyone can take something away from this. And I'll say take what everyone has to say in and just take it all in. Don't limit yourself. The Rendon's great, Frenzy fans are great, Sammy D is wonderful, Kevin Garrett definitely has merits in the information he shares. I think they're and I'll even say with my own game, I definitely am not modeled after just one person that I listen to. I'm fortunate enough to definitely listen to you all, and I've taken a lot in from everyone that I've listened to, and even the sheets. Like I always put my loadouts into the Frenzy Fans calculator, Antelope sheet, the BG. I use them all, and all of those resources are there to help you. And all of the content creators all have so many different opinions. It's great just to listen to them all, and it's great just to see so many different things. And it's no one has like such a one-way street mind and they're all willing to listen to each other. It's just great. So by listening to each person, you actually form your own opinion, and you form like your own strategies, and you form your own way to do daily selects or spotlight shop or whatever is coming down the pipe. It's so exciting, and I hope just everyone really does take the time to subscribe to all of the content creators that are here. Matt, who was here earlier, get StudFit to 2K, hit that subscribe button. There's just a lot of great people, and don't just listen to one. Really, everyone has their merits and something to add to the big picture of this game.
Solid advice. Bobcat, why don't you join us? This is first time on here.
Yeah, man. I mean, honestly, just speaking from the fact that I've been in a community that I grew and then got to see much better communities since then. It's just become a game where, I mean, I could tell you, listen, your rank is going to be so easy for 2 months, you know, I mean, but there's just so much speculation with this new game coming out. I think the biggest thing that you can do for yourself is become a part of one of the communities. And like there's
Definitely.
different vibes, there's Discord, there's Facebook, there's Twitter, there's a lot of communities out there, and it's gonna get you not only to enjoy the game maybe a little more and things like that and get over all these things, but I'll tell you what, when I get to vent about not getting something or getting hit or getting in 4th place and I had a world record run, like it's so much better than like sitting there and stewing in it. So like, hey, that happened to me, you know, and things like that. There's just so many cool things, so many cool people you get to meet and stuff like that, and it's just been a really awesome experience playing this game for the last few years, because honestly, like I'm on with a whole bunch of people from different places right now, but like, you know, it's just changed so many aspects of how I see things, and just my regular day to day is, man, I got people that I can talk to. Like you know, there's people around, there's always people on this, and we just have a love for one thing, and that's the game itself. Now that game provides like 4 or 5 different aspects for different people, but you know, you'll find a place where you'll fit in. Just, you know, keep looking around. Like Torchy Torch said, there's tons of people out there and things like that. Just keep looking around. I mean, Frenzy Fans, I you know, I was only in their channel and then StudFit and things like that for a little while, and you know, I really don't want to be in too many because I want to focus on people, but like, you know, just get into the communities and enjoy the game. Like enjoy just what this game's about to become too. So that's about it.
Big I love that. Hero, what would be your piece of advice?
I think everyone pretty much can hit the nail on the coffin. I mean, there's plenty of resources, you know, plenty of sheets for there. So, I mean, I really don't have nothing to say. I mean, you guys did fantastic. So, I mean, yeah, but at the end of the day, just have fun with the game. Now that this isn't a gotcha thing anymore, now that you can use rubies to use whatever driver you use. So whichever driver you love, whether if it's Luigi, Peach, Mario, Daisy, or whoever it is, use that, because those are your rubies and you deserve it. So yeah, at the end of the day, just have fun with the game.
Yeah, I'm still shocked at how many topics we didn't even get to tonight. Think about like the multiplayer pipe and all this other stuff. There's so much going on here, but so I think we're all kind of lost. We're in general, most are just kind of lost together. And so that my challenge would be kind of similar to what Bobcat said, and just be. My challenge to you would be between now and the next thing you see me on, just ask one question. Just ask a question somewhere in a comment, somewhere in a server, somewhere. I promise you, someone will help you out. Somebody will say, hey, they'll take you under their wing. They'll show you what to do or how to find the right advice or how to find that spreadsheet that everyone keeps talking about that you don't know what they're talking about. Just ask the question, because I think there's so many people that just like, if I ask that question, they're going to think I'm dumb, or they're not going to. I promise you, this is actually one of the coolest, nicest communities I've ever experienced when it comes to, this is something that, and honestly, I think that there's been a couple people, just a really small group that like, would attack people saying like, play with feet or whatever, and just like make people feel like less than. And honestly, I think a lot of those people got burnt out and they've left the game. And so I really think the people who are left in this game are like actually people who love this game and are willing to help people play this game and honestly would like give their shirt off their back to try to help somebody out. So I promise you, if you asked a question, it would be not met with shame. It would not met with that type of, that maybe early on that elitism might have been, kind of shed off. But I do believe anyone in the community would be willing to help you out if you asked the question that you probably were just like dying to ask, but just felt either embarrassed or you felt like that people wouldn't appreciate. I promise you, there will be people that will actually come in and help you out and make you feel like $100 million. So I really do believe that 100%. So kind of the same thing as everyone else has been saying, but just my one specific challenge is just ask the question. Just ask a question somewhere. I promise you, people will jump in and help you out. But Frenzy fans, it's been a while since we've heard your outgoing statement there, but yeah, tell us what piece of advice you'd have if you have anything any stone you haven't overturned over the 20 episodes you've been on. But give a piece of advice and then send us off.
Yeah, I would say my one piece of advice would be to practice stillness in the game. I think this game is really cool because it is constantly like evolving and changing and growing, and like I think a lot of us who are drawn to the game, we have like that competitive nature. Like we want to do good, we want to improve, and like we like seeing like our accounts build on each other. And then you have this awesome element of like FOMO, and because it's on a time, you don't want to miss out on something. So if you're brand new to the game, you're going to see tons of content creators talking about tons of different things, getting hyped about a lot of different things, but like take a second for yourself, like I guess like really figure out what the motives are behind why you're doing it. This isn't a game that, okay, personal opinion, I'll get off my high horse after this, but I don't think this is a game that anyone should ever be going into like crazy amount of debt over. And it's easy to do that. And we have no idea what like the actual effects of these gacha pipes going away is going to create. It's going to create a thing where we might find ourselves wanting to buy a lot more packs so we can get a lot more spotlight. So like take a breath, be still. If you take 2 weeks to like just kind of wrap your brain around all the changes, like just take the time to do that and do what's best for you. Be your best advocate. That's my take on life.
You got a fly in your head.
You're talking to me, guys.
My advice is get a fly zapper.
Yeah.
Don't ruin your best run of the tour. Yeah, so I mean, I was gonna say something facetious like make sure to check out the Frenzy Fans special pipe calculator, because that's gonna be your most important thing to get familiar with over the next
Special
5
pipe, yeah.
tours. Yeah. I really don't have very much advice at all, because so much is going to be changing in the game in the next week that, yeah, like let's just strap in, let's have fun, let's chat about it. No one's right, no one's wrong. Everyone can play the game however they want. But just make sure, no matter what, that you end up enjoying your time and meeting new people and having fun. So until the next episode, may the frenzies be forever in your favor.
See you later.
See ya.
See you guys.